Hello. Hey, Pammy Pooh. Hey, Robert. How are you doing, Robert? Happy Wednesday. I'm going to wait for some more people to come in. Hey, Miss Joy. How are you? Make sure y'all hit the like button, ladies. That's good, Robert. Good to hear. Good to hear, Robert. I got two stories for today, part one and part two. Joy, how things been going? Okay. Hey, Auntie Cherry, how are you? Um. Oh, okay. Okay, Miss Joy. Okay. You've been up all night. Oh my Lord. I think you better get some sleep. What you been doing? What you been doing? Did you use that one that I sent you, Joy, or you found another one to use? Or you used that one that I told you to look into? Did you use that one? Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Well, I might need your help to help me with it. Cause I don't know. Maybe this weekend I'll call you this weekend. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. Yeah, I probably call you Saturday afternoon, something like that. Give you time to get your rest and everything. Cause you say you be up all night. Oh wow. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good today. It's just a little breezy, like windy here today. They say next week you're supposed to get some more snow. Oh, hope not. Tomorrow gonna be nice in the 50s. So yeah. But other than that, I'm good. Yeah. Other than that, I'm okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna y'all already know. I just start my stories, whatever who in here. So this story here, y'all see the man on the thumbnail, right? This is the man that was arrested. The man on the thumbnail. So I'm just gonna start it. Because I can't wait for everybody or whoever. They won't have to just come in, watch the replay. Um, that's it. That's all. So we're gonna get into it, my lovely people. Let me see.
Stepdaughter and common law wife Danique Ingram on December 21st of 2023. Court TV field reporter
Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear.
In studio with the latest from today. Cody.
Well, good evening, Michael. Larry Ingram Jr. was front and center in court today as opening statements began in this murder trial. The state claims Ingram acted recklessly in the shooting death of Danique Ingram, but his defense says his intention was to protect his family.
He grabs the gun, and then he waits in bed. He doesn't turn on the lights. He doesn't warn, I have a gun. He doesn't say, if you come in here, I'll shoot you. Nothing like that. He grabs the gun, he points it at that doorway, and he waits. And the moment he sees a person come through, he fires.
If she had been in the apartment, she would have answered. Still, there was the bang, and it was in his home. And it wasn't just himself he had to protect now. There was his much loved, much wanted, much wished for child. So Larry defended himself and his family. And he shot the intruder. But then, when the lights came on, his whole world crumbled. All of those dreams evaporated. It wasn't an intruder. It was Danique.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Miss Sherry.
Ingram Jr. sat in court today and became a bit emotional.
This is the guy,
his
y'all.
911 call from the night Danique was shot was played for the jury. In the call, you can hear him seemingly telling Danique to fight for her life.
I need you to tell me what your name is. It's okay. It's okay. I've got people coming. It's the front door unlocked. Okay, the door is wide open. Tell me if the person that did this is still inside. No.
Larry Ingram was Danique's stepfather turned common law husband. He faces second-degree murder charges in her death, along with the charge of violating a protection order. Also in court today, body cam footage of Larry was shown from the night of the shooting. He explains to police when he allegedly realizes it was Danique who was shot.
That's what happens. I get up, I go to the thing, and she's like, oh my God. And then immediately, I told her to like flatten out my picture, and I put my home. Right, and then she starts making this noise. She starts making this noise. Sir, I'm a fucking prisoner, and I'm doing CPR. I was a section worker for years. So, where does it? I can't remember. You had to have slow, I couldn't apply pressure. I couldn't.
Also, during the prosecution's opening statement, they agreed Larry Ingram was remorseful and tried to save Danique's life, but they hammered on the fact that these do not take away from his alleged recklessness.
It's never been easier to start a podcast than with Riverside.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get this commercial. These commercials be. Oh, damn. That was the end of that one. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
For over 20 years, this child went unidentified. Teresa Black is responsible for her child's death.
Teresa had a huge
Hold on, y'all. I don't want. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Now I didn't know that one was that short, and I didn't see that one was that short. Hmm. All right. Okay, let's see. Hmm. So I'm gonna do this one because I didn't know that one was that short. That's kind of funny. Because it wasn't that short. Because I watched it. Okay, this one right here is a little foul. All right, let's see. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second here. Give me 1 second. Okay. It was another one I wanted to really show y'all about. I think I did this one for y'all right here. Yeah, I did. I don't want to show y'all the same ones. That's why I'm looking. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to bring it up. I'm trying to bring this one up.
Tamisha multiple times to get rid of the unborn baby, which round.
Okay. So let's see.
5 a.m. in the 5300 block of Norton Place. Tamisha was getting ready to give birth to a baby girl she had already named Malaysia Leonie Price. But her husband wasn't ready for a child. He requested Tamisha multiple times to get rid of the unborn baby, which she refused. Her life was taken not only by the man she loved, but by the combined efforts of him and his friends in a very shocking manner.
Yes, Miss Sherry.
This is the heartbreaking story of Tamisha Price. Before we begin, we would love to extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Tamisha and everyone affected by the murder on that fateful day. This story takes us all the way to Toledo, Ohio, a city known for its rich history and manufacturing legacy. Toledo, Ohio also faces a
I gotta
high
look for
national
that
crime rate,
whole
with
story again because
concerns
I
over
thought I
property
had
crimes
it.
like theft and burglary, as well as violent incidents
Hey,
such as
Brittany.
shootings and assaults. Certain neighborhoods experience elevated crime levels, making safety a significant concern in parts of the city. And it is in this city, with irregularities in crime rates, that we find the very person of Tamisha Price. Tamisha Jakira Price, affectionately known as Misha, was born on May 22nd, 1989, in Toledo, Ohio, to Tyler and Stacy Price. Growing up in a supportive family, she was the youngest and only girl of 4 siblings. Tamisha attended Rogers High School and Apostolic Christian Academy. She pursued higher education in the medical field at Herzing University, reflecting her passion for caring for others. But that was not all. Throughout her career, Tamisha worked in roles that showed her dedication to youth and community service. She served as an administrator at Sunbridge Charter and AEE Charter Schools, and as a lead case manager at New Concepts, where she empowered young people to achieve their potential. But Tamisha's passion didn't stop there. It was only the beginning of a life filled with purpose and surprises.
Ahora en Nissan City of Springfield tenemos el Nissan que buscas, como un 2025 Rogue, arrendamiento de $219 al mes.
A devout Christian, Tamisha actively served in her church community, starting at Pinewood Tabernacle Church before joining Upton United Methodist Church and Life Changes Church. Her love for the arts shone through her involvement in youth choir performances and church activities. Yet, behind her vibrant, busy life was a surprising challenge, one that few could have managed so gracefully. Tamisha entered a significant relationship in her early 20s, filled with hope for a bright future. And as their bond deepened, the relationship brought both joy and challenges. In time, they welcomed their 2 sons, Jaden Keyshawn and Leslie Michael, who became the center of Tamisha's world. While Leslie loved basketball, Jaden found his path in drumming. In fact, Jaden was so good at drumming that his father saw it as an avenue to tap from his talent and bring the best version of him. This they achieved with their frequent music lessons together, with the father being supportive enough to keep the children this busy. And as they also grew older, Tamisha decided to use this opportunity to pursue more profitable ventures, ventures that most people could only dream of. She decided to go next level with her love for fashion, shopping, and traveling, and she found the most effective way to showcase her style through content creation.
What are you doing? Don't worry about who it is. I can see it. Enough is enough.
Tamisha seemed to have it all, not until her perfect life came to a halt. As the years passed, the partnership grew strained, and balancing the demands of a troubled relationship with the responsibilities of motherhood tested her resilience. When the challenges became overwhelming, Tamisha made the difficult choice to leave, determined to create a better life for herself and her children. And against the odds, this didn't deter Tamisha, and so she made a bold decision. After the breakup, Tamisha channeled her energy into rebuilding her life. She worked tirelessly to provide for Jaden and Leslie, while continuing her impactful work in education and youth services. Her resolve to create a stable, nurturing environment for her boys showed her resilience, but her journey was far from over. During this time of transition, Tamisha met Paris James, and although his past was marred by mostly police disturbances, their relationship blossomed through shared values and mutual respect. Tamisha didn't allow his past to come between them, and Paris admired Tamisha's strength as a mother and the passion she poured into her community. As their bond deepened, hope returned to Tamisha's life in a way she hadn't expected. Their love grew until late 2023, when Tamisha found herself preparing to welcome a new joy into their lives. She became pregnant with a daughter, and she planned to name her Malaysia Leonie Price. She treated the baby as a blessing that filled her with excitement and dreams for the future. But as she celebrated this new chapter, she could not have foreseen the challenges that lay ahead. We suddenly say the challenges that lay ahead because this was when Tamisha's world finally began to fall apart. Paris wasn't ready to be a father, and he made this pretty evident to Tamisha in the most degrading manner ever. He accused her of cheating on him and questioned the paternity of the child. This was really shocking considering the fact that Tamisha openly expressed the fact that she knew no other man apart from Paris, but not as shocking as what was about to unfold.
Let me show you how to block this ad. First, you're going to click on this video, then you're going to download Pi. It's an ad blocker that's
Tamisha, still excited about her baby and not allowing Paris's assumptions to get to her, decided to hold a baby shower 1 month before her due date. She planned to go all out about it, and since it wasn't her first child, it probably may have raised questions from some people, but still, Tamisha went ahead with her plan, unknown to her what lurked in the dark, waiting for her. While the day was drawing closer, her relationship with Paris became more and more distant, with the pair growing further apart with each passing day, with Paris being unusually angry, and most times for no reason. While Tamisha made her own plans for the baby shower, Paris had his own plans. Paris had a friend named Jerry Scott, who in turn had a girlfriend named Shatwia Triplet, and together, under the leadership of Paris, they all plotted to end Tamisha's life. However, this would not only come to pass, but will do so in a most bizarre manner. On January 24th, 2024, at around 5 a.m., the quiet neighborhood near the 5300 block of Norton Place in Toledo was disturbed by the sound of gunfire, prompting neighbors to seek the aid of police officers. When police arrived, they found 34-year-old Tamisha Price lying unresponsive on the ground with multiple gunshot wounds. Emergency responders tried to save her, but she was pronounced dead at the scene. And it would interest you to know that this wasn't even the most shocking event of that day. The most shocking and heart-wrenching event of that day was the fact that Tamisha's other sons, Jaden and Leslie, had to watch the incident firsthand. But this, in itself, was soon going to prove useful. This is so because it was soon disclosed how the whole incident transpired. On that fateful morning, Paris and Jerry arrived at Tamisha's home shortly before dawn. They had devised a plan to confront her about their relationship issues. As they approached the house, they were armed with handguns, having discussed their intentions to intimidate Tamisha into submission. Their goal was not only to assert control over her, but also to send a message that she could not easily leave them behind. When Tamisha opened the door, a heated argument erupted. Paris accused her of betrayal and threatened her with violence if she did not comply with his demands. As the confrontation escalated, Jerry joined in, using aggressive language that further provoked Tamisha. Feeling cornered and frightened, she attempted to retreat into her home. In a moment of rage, Paris drew his weapon and fired multiple shots at Tamisha as she tried to escape. Jerry, acting as an accomplice, provided cover for Paris, ensuring that no one would intervene during the attack. The gunfire echoed through the quiet neighborhood, leaving residents stunned and terrified. And that was how she was pronounced dead on the scene. The loss of Tamisha Price and her unborn baby, Malaysia Leonie Price, was devastating news that left her family and friends in shock. As the Toledo Police Department launched an investigation, they worked tirelessly to uncover the truth. Eyewitness accounts and evidence from the scene helped piece together the events leading to her tragic death. Within days, 3 suspects were identified: Paris James, Jerry Scott, and Shatuya Triplett. James, Tamisha's boyfriend, faced charges of aggravated murder, while Scott was accused of similar crimes. Triplett, Jerry Scott's live-in girlfriend, was charged with obstructing justice for allegedly providing a false
Evil
alibi for
people.
James and Scott, which investigators later disproved.
Now, 3 suspects have been indicted in the fatal shooting of a pregnant woman. They are accused of the January killing of 34-year-old Tamisha Price. Take a look. According to court documents, a grand jury indicted Paris James and Jerry Scott on several counts of aggravated murder and felonious assault, among other charges. Shawaya Triplett was also indicted on 2 third-degree felony counts of obstructing justice. All 3 suspects are accused of involvement in the homicide of Price, whose unborn child was also killed in the shooting. According to court documents, detectives say Scott did participate in the planning and execution of the plan that resulted in Price's death. Those documents also indicate that Triplett, who detectives said is James's live-in girlfriend, provided an alibi for James that was later proven to be false.
Paris James and Jerry Scott were subsequently indicted on 5 counts of aggravated murder, 4 counts of murder, 1 count of aggravated burglary, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. Court documents revealed that Scott had actively participated in planning and carrying out the actions that led to Tamisha's death. As details unfolded, the question remained: what led to this horrifying series of events? And would justice be served for Tamisha and her unborn child? Tamisha's friends and family revealed tensions in her relationship with James, but the exact details of their conflicts remain unknown. As the indictments were announced, her loved ones experienced a mix of relief and sorrow. Relief that the suspects had been identified, and sorrow over the profound loss of a vibrant young mother. How could this tragedy have been prevented? The news of Tamisha's death sparked conversations about domestic and gun violence in Toledo. Community leaders and advocates began raising awareness and calling for better support for victims. Vigils were held to honor Tamisha's memory, with loved ones sharing stories of her dedication to her children and the community. Could her story inspire change and prevent future tragedies? Tamisha's family stood firm in their pursuit of justice and keeping her memory alive. Friends organized events to support domestic violence awareness, and local charities helping women in similar situations. Will her legacy lead to lasting change? In this story, a man killed his pregnant girlfriend, a tragedy that ended 2 lives. But the next story is an even sadder story about a woman expecting twins who was killed along with both her unborn babies. 3 lives were lost in an instant.
Sounds like it was some jealousy going on here and some hate. Very much so, some hate.
This is the story of Darion Burley, a woman who believed she had it all: a loving boyfriend and a bright future. Life seemed perfect.
Hey, Stephanie.
Especially after celebrating a gender reveal party for the she was expecting. But on June 29th, 2020, that happiness was shattered beyond everyone's wildest expectations. After breakfast with her boyfriend, Darion decided to rest. Out of nowhere, he pulled a gun and shot her in the back of the head, ending her life instantly. As horrifying as this was, what he did next on his way to bury her body was even more shocking. This is the tragic story of Darion Burley. Before we begin, we would also love to extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Darion Burley and everyone affected by the murder on that fateful day. We will also uncover chances not taken that would have saved the life of Darion and her unborn twins. This story takes us all the way to Fort Worth, Texas, a city with a rich Western heritage. Fort Worth, Texas has seen fluctuating crime rates over the years. In the 1990s, crime was a significant concern, mirroring national trends, but community efforts and policing strategies helped reduce violent crime by the early 2000s. Recent years have brought challenges with occasional spikes in homicides and property crimes, reflecting population growth and urbanization. And it's in this city that Darion Burley happened to find herself in. Darion Sherelle Burley was born on July 14th, 1993 in Fort Worth, Texas, to Olga King Burley and Daryl Burley, where she was the fourth of 6 children in her family. Darion's education was one with lots of highlights, but only a few recorded. She pursued her education at Connor State College in Muskogee, Oklahoma, where she earned an associate's degree. Darion Burley was attending a local community event in Fort Worth, Texas, focused on promoting youth empowerment and education. As an active member of her community, she was excited to engage with others who shared her passion for making a difference. While volunteering at a booth, Darion noticed Maurice Kelso Smith across the way. He was helping out with a basketball clinic for kids, effortlessly demonstrating his skills and encouraging the young athletes. Intrigued by his enthusiasm and charm, Darion decided to approach him during a break. They bonded over their shared passion for community service and youth mentorship. Maurice dreamed of starting a nonprofit for underprivileged youth, while Darion shared her work with local charities. Over the following weeks, they crossed paths at various community events, their connection growing stronger with each encounter. Their shared passion for uplifting their neighborhood brought them closer as they collaborated on projects and spent weekends volunteering side by side. As their bond deepened, they began to envision a future together, built on love and shared dreams. Little did they know, this was only the start of a journey that would bring unexpected twists and turns. The relationship, like every normal relationship, had its ups and downs. However, the pair still found a way to each other on every occasion, proving how committed they were to staying together. And then came the big news. Darion was pregnant with twins. The news brought a mix of shock and excitement, and the couple celebrated with joy. The boy eagerly anticipated the joy of having not just a baby, but 2 babies. But beneath the happiness, cracks in their relationship began to form, hinting at a darker side soon to emerge. But first, Maurice had a big plan put in place. It was a gender reveal party, organized to celebrate the arrival of their twin sons. The gender reveal party for Darion Burley and Maurice Smith was a joyful celebration held in May 2020, marking the anticipation of their twin boys. Family and friends gathered to share in the excitement, creating a vibrant atmosphere filled with love and hope for the future. Guests were treated to decorations in shades of blue, symbolizing the boys they were expecting. The couple revealed their attention, with Maurice expressing his love and commitment to Darion during the festivities. The event featured a cake that, when cut, revealed the blue frosting inside, confirming the gender of their twins. Darion even went as far as practicing for when her water broke, saying stuff like, "Oh, my water just broke," followed by laughter and cheers that filled the air as everyone celebrated this significant milestone in Darion's life. However, this moment of happiness was tragically overshadowed by the events that would unfold just weeks later. Still, Darion, who had no idea
Man,
what
you
was
got to
coming,
watch who you're
continued celebrating
dating.
the incoming babies with posts such as this, where she was looking for a very good photographer, and her followers recommended many photographers in the comment section of this post. She also had so many promises kept for them. In a real sense, it could be said that these kids were coming into a world already prepared for them. Simply put, they were the most lucky kids yet to be born. However, these kids would never be born. For reasons likely tied to his growing addiction to hard substances, Maurice Smith, a convicted felon prohibited from owning a gun, decided to acquire one through a friend who was legally qualified to purchase it. Perhaps even Maurice couldn't foresee the havoc the weapon would cause, but he bought it anyway. Soon enough, the worst happened. On the evening of June 29th, 2020, the atmosphere in the Darion Burley and Maurice Smith home shifted dramatically from the joy of their recent gender reveal party to a scene of unimaginable tragedy. Just weeks after celebrating the impending arrival of their twin boys, the couple found themselves embroiled in a violent confrontation that would end in heartbreak. The day had begun like any other, with Darion excitedly preparing for the arrival of her babies. However, underlying tensions had been building in their relationship. Friends and family had expressed concerns about Maurice's behavior and substance use in the weeks leading up to this fateful night. Despite the anticipation of parenthood, there were signs that all was not well. As evening fell, an argument erupted between Darion and Maurice. Witnesses later recounted hearing raised voices coming from their home, indicating a conflict that escalated quickly. The argument was fueled by Maurice's struggles with anger and addiction, creating a volatile environment. In a sudden and horrifying turn of events, Maurice reached for a gun. In a moment of rage and desperation, he shot Darion in the back of the head. The sound of the gunshot shattered the quietness of the night, leaving no room for doubt about the severity of the situation. Darion fell instantly, her life extinguished in an act of violence that would also claim the lives of her unborn twins. The tragedy unfolded in mere moments, transforming what should have been a time of joy into an irreversible nightmare. After the shooting, Maurice Smith, desperate to cover his tracks, fled the scene in a panic. Knowing his actions had changed everything, he tried to distance himself from the crime. He drove away from the Fort Worth, Texas home, adrenaline pumping until he reached Mansfield, Texas. There, in a moment of desperation, he committed a carjacking at gunpoint. He stole a Honda Civic from a woman, threatening her with a firearm before speeding off in her vehicle. The
This
victim
man
later
was
described the
dangerous.
terror she felt as Maurice fled the scene. A scene so horrific that even the police, upon discovering it later, wished they hadn't seen it. Meanwhile, police were alerted to both the carjacking and the shooting. When officers arrived at Darion's home, they found her lifeless body slumped in the passenger seat of her car, parked outside. The scene was devastating. Darion, an expectant mother, was still dressed in the clothes she had chosen that day, a heartbreaking reminder of the life she had been preparing for. Between her body and the console lay a crumpled sonogram picture of her unborn twins, a haunting symbol of dreams that would never be realized. Detectives quickly began piecing together the timeline of events, where they made some utterly unbelievable discoveries. They discovered that Maurice had returned to his apartment after committing both crimes. In an attempt to cover his tracks, he tried to clean up evidence inside the stolen car and destroy any incriminating items that could link him to Darion's murder. However, investigators were already closing in on him. As police conducted their investigation, they found blood-stained clothing discarded in Maurice's apartment. They also located the murder weapon, a gun that had been purchased illegally just a day prior to the shooting. This
Wow.
evidence painted a clear picture of premeditated violence and raised questions about Maurice's mental state leading up to that fateful night. Maurice Smith was arrested and charged with capital murder for the deaths of Darion and their unborn twins. His trial began several months later and drew significant media attention due to the shocking nature of the crime and its impact on the community. During the proceedings, prosecutors presented evidence showing a pattern of abuse in Maurice's behavior toward Darion. Friends and family members testified about their concerns for her safety in the weeks leading up to her death, recounting instances where they witnessed Maurice's aggressive behavior and substance abuse. The courtroom was filled with emotion as Darion's family members spoke about their profound grief and loss, the dreams they had for Darion as a mother, and how her absence would forever alter their lives. The emotional weight of their words resonated deeply with everyone present. Ultimately, Maurice Smith was found guilty of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The verdict brought some measure of closure to Darion's family, but could never fully alleviate their pain or
Yeah, that's
replace
sad.
what had been lost. In March 2024, the verdict in Maurice Smith's trial brought a mixture of sorrow and reflection for Darion Burley's family and community. In court, her family expressed their immense grief through victim impact statements, describing the deep void left by her loss. One family member captured the sentiment, saying, "There are no winners here," emphasizing the irreversible consequences of Maurice's actions. They spoke of the dreams and future Darion and her unborn twins would never have, highlighting the life stolen from them. The tragedy went far beyond her family. Friends remembered Darion's joy and excitement about her becoming a mother, sharing their heartbreak over her love for her twins. Many voiced anger toward Maurice Smith, blaming him for destroying not only Darion's life, but the potential lives of her children. The community united to honor her memory through vigils and memorials, creating spaces for collective mourning and support. The murder sparked a renewed focus on domestic violence awareness in Fort Worth. Advocates spoke out about the warning signs in Darion's relationship with Maurice, signs that friends and family had tragically noted in the weeks before her death. Assistant District Attorney Kate Hinojosa emphasized the importance of recognizing and addressing such red flags. This led to discussions about improving resources for domestic violence victims to ensure they receive timely help. The case also ignited conversations about mental health and substance abuse. His actions served as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by unresolved mental health struggles. Darion Burley's death became a rallying point for advocacy, inspiring efforts to prevent similar tragedies. Her story highlighted the urgent need for stronger support systems for abuse victims and raised awareness about the silent dangers many face behind closed doors. Through vigils, fundraising, and increased community efforts, her legacy now stands as a call to action against domestic violence and the importance of protecting those in vulnerable situations. In light of this tragedy, one can't help but wonder what caused the escalating tension between Maurice and Darion, leading to such a fatal ending. For a couple that once seemed happy and resilient, the breaking point must have been significant. Could it have been Maurice's deepening substance abuse? Or was there something more beneath the surface? It also raises the difficult question, what could Darion have done differently to survive, even for just one more day? Perhaps leaving sooner or seeking help could have made a difference. Yet, hindsight doesn't change the outcome, and her story serves as a somber reminder of how quickly circumstances can spiral out of control. What are your thoughts? Could anything have prevented this tragedy? I'm leaving you with 4 more crime stories that are more shocking than what you just watched. And by the way, if you like the way we bring to you stories or you learned something new today, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. As always, remember to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Perhaps someone learns from your experience or advice. I will talk to you again in another video. It's bye for now.
Okay, y'all, let me try this one right here. Y'all, that is so sad. Like, the kids, like, y'all know how I feel about the kids. Not the kids. Like, they got to do better. Definitely has to do better. Definitely has to do better. Sometimes stuff like this will make
that
you scary to
an African American female.
Hold on, y'all. Let me go back to the beginning of this. Sometimes
Milwaukee
it makes
County
you scared to think.
911 dispatch received a call from Cudahy Police Department regarding a severed leg
Let me know if
at
y'all can hear it.
Wondermont Park. It was near the golf course and the pumping house. The leg was amputated from
Exactly,
around the hip down. The leg appeared to be that of an African American female.
This is freaking unsurreal. Like, I don't know how we were placed in this nightmare by this demon. Okay. Demon. And I don't want to go there, but there's no other terminology for individuals that move like this. I don't know what the motive would have been. I don't know how sociopaths and psychopaths think, but this is very
Narcissist.
concerning for the Milwaukee community.
On April 2nd, 2024, a woman who went on a date went missing after being lured into a home basement in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The woman was 19-year-old Sade Robinson, whose body parts, including right leg, left foot, torso, and one arm, were found scattered throughout the city. The killer,
No
who
treasure.
deliberately distributed her body parts to different parts of the community, had the investigators struggling to understand the reason behind this act, until the detectives and the community worked together to find him. And the reason he killed this innocent woman is heartbreaking. This is the heartbreaking story of Sade Robinson.
You have to be a very demonic individual to do something like this.
Milwaukee is the most populous city in the U.S. state of Wisconsin and the county seat of Milwaukee County. Yet behind this friendly and welcoming city lies an ugly past. Many very bad killers have lived here, including the likes of Jeffrey Dahmer. In early 2024, Milwaukee had another very bad crime. This one showed how dangerous people now use phone apps and the internet to find people to hurt. Sade Robinson, born on May 10, 2004, was everything a parent could hope for in a daughter. At just 19, she was determined and independent, very different from her peers. She worked 2 full-time jobs, one as a rising manager at Pizza Shuttle, where she worked since 10th grade, and another at a prestigious Wisconsin club.
She was so independent, self sufficient. She had her whole life ahead of her. She worked 2 jobs. She was dedicated. She was strong. 2 full time jobs. The Pizza Shuttle. She was ranked up to manager. She started working there in the 10th grade, was ongoing, getting promoted, dollar raises every 6 months. So they wanted her to be manager. She worked at the Wisconsin Club, part time, the Wisconsin Country Club.
She was the definition of self-made. Her mother, Sheena Scarborough, beamed with pride as she watched her daughter excel at everything she did. From the moment she started at Pizza Shuttle in 10th grade, Sade's work ethic was obvious. Every 6 months brought another raise, and she was quickly climbing the ranks toward management. But one job wasn't enough for this ambitious young woman. She also secured a position at the Wisconsin Club, a prestigious establishment where she later helped her younger sister land her first job. Sade lived independently in her own apartment, drove her own car, and was just weeks away from receiving her Associate of Arts degree. She represented the bright future ahead of her, building a life for herself one step at a time. Her friends described her as a natural leader, someone who lifted others up while pursuing her own dreams. She was constantly giving back, her mother would later recall. She was there for the community, for the elders, the young people, her peers. She put out good energy. She helped others. But little did she know that a single decision would change everything. Everything changed that night when Sade agreed to meet 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson at the Twisted Fisherman. Surveillance cameras show the two meeting for their date, but little did she know that this would be her last date. The
What is
cameras captured the
wrong with
most
some of these
mundane of scenes,
men? Oh
a
my
young woman
God.
walking into a restaurant,
This is just
ignorant
sad.
to the fact that she was walking into an
Wow.
intricately set trap.
Wow.
It all came down to what happened next.
Surveillance images from April 1st
Sometimes,
show
y'all, these
Sade and
stories get
Anderson
next to
on a
me,
date
but
together at Twisted
we
Fisherman.
know it's real life.
Investigators say the two went back to
And I
Anderson's
try
home
to
that night.
bring,
The next
real
day,
life stuff.
Sade's car
Sometimes
was
it really
torched.
gets to me.
Maxwell Anderson, son of a wealthy and successful local businessman, had allegedly planned every minute detail of what was to happen. According to court documents, he had converted his basement into what investigators would come to call a dungeon, complete with restraints, handcuffs, and a very curious 5-foot deep hole in the ground. This was just the beginning of a chilling series of events.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get this commercial out of here. I can't stand them commercials.
Meanwhile, the basement looked normal from the outside, like any other in the neighborhood. It had small windows that were always covered up with dark curtains. The neighbors never thought this was strange. Back at the crime scene, something crucial was overlooked not until the police came later. Those covered windows made them very scared, as the worst part wasn't what you could see. It was what was hidden under the floor. Someone had spent a lot of time carefully breaking through the concrete floor, digging a perfect hole in the dirt below. The deep hole was dug very carefully. It was exactly 5 feet long and 6 feet deep. Someone planned this. It wasn't a mistake or random digging. The perfect size and shape of the hole showed it was made for something bad. This wasn't just someone fixing their house. When police found out everything later, the covered windows and the secret hole told them something very scary was happening here. When Sade Robinson didn't come home that April night, no one knew how bad things would turn out to be. What started as a normal missing person case became one of the scariest crimes Milwaukee had ever seen. Someone had set up a careful trap. At first, things happened just like they usually do when someone goes missing. Friends tried calling her. They sent messages that got no answers. They hoped she was just staying at a friend's house and forgot to tell anyone. However, the most shocking revelation was yet to come. Sade wasn't the kind of person who just disappeared and not talked to anyone. She had a job, went to college classes, and was very close to her family. When she didn't contact anyone, people knew something bad had happened. The truth, however, was even more horrifying than anyone imagined. As authorities began to piece together the last known whereabouts of Sade, security cameras at the Twisted Fisherman restaurant showed what seemed to be a typical first date. There, She was walking into the restaurant with no idea that every step was being recorded by cameras that would eventually become that all-important evidence. But what the cameras recorded really told only much less than half of the story. But then, a single clue brought the investigation into sharp focus. This was the discovery that Maxwell Anderson had deliberately switched off his cell phone from the time and date Sade went missing. What he did looked just like what other killers had done before. It made the police worried right away. This wasn't how a normal person acts on a date.
Scary.
This is how someone acts when they don't want anyone to find them or know what they're doing. Every hour, police looked at more clues to understand what happened that day. They watched videos from security cameras, talked to people who saw things, and checked computer records. As they found more clues, they saw this wasn't just a normal date. It was the start of something very scary. The videos from that night helped police find a terrible crime that even Milwaukee's best police officers weren't ready to see. As detectives pieced together the timeline, a disturbing pattern began to emerge. 8 unsealed search warrants showed that Anderson had not picked his victim at random. There was evidence of possible previous contact between him and Sade. This was revealed in surveillance footage from Victor's nightclub, where Anderson worked as a bartender. But then, a witness came forward with a story that stunned everyone and broke the case wide open. The witness told the police that weeks before the murder, Anderson had confided in him about his dark plans of dragging Sade into his home at gunpoint, shooting her, and then dismembering her body. He said that on several occasions in early March 2024. He saw 3 saws in Anderson's basement, along with plastic sheeting taped to the walls and floor, a calculating step for what was to occur.
A close friend of Anderson said that on a visit to Anderson's home last year, he noticed a large hole in the ground that was about 5 feet long by 6 foot deep. Anderson said he was working on an underground basement despite having a large basement in the home already. Neighbors say the basement in the home had small windows that were always covered so you could not see inside.
When police searched Anderson's house, they found something scary. The basement was just like the witness had told them. It had plastic sheets on the walls and floor, many saws and signs someone had been there recently. They also found a folder called Dating that had passwords for dating apps like Bumble, Hinge, OkCupid, and Tinder, with lots of notes about different women. What was even more shocking was that some women might have survived meeting Anderson. One woman said that after going on a date with him in
Look
February,
how crazy
she
he
left,
looked,
pretty
y'all.
sure he had put something bad in her drink. This made police wonder how many other women might have similar stories to tell. That was just the beginning of a chilling series of events. Things got much worse when police went to arrest Maxwell Anderson at his home in West Milwaukee. What they found there was even more horrible than they had feared.
Adriana Taylor, she was reported missing just over 2 weeks ago. Her remains were discovered on Thanksgiving Day. News 5 investigator Tara Morgan has been digging into this case, and Tara, that warrant reveals some details, but there are still so many unanswered questions right now.
In the weeks after they arrested him, people began to understand just how awful his crimes were. The whole community was shocked by what happened next. Parts of Sade's body started being found all around Milwaukee.
Video surveillance recovered from the arson investigation led investigators to search the area of 3000 West Galena Street. On Friday, April 5th, investigators located human remains in the area. On Saturday, April 6th, MPD continued the search in the area and located additional human remains on the railroad tracks. Later in the evening on Saturday, April 6th, MPD returned to the area when Miss Robinson's family located her blanket. At this time, detectives located additional human remains. The identification of the human remains recovered by MPD are still pending.
First, they found her right leg. Then they found her left foot. Later, they found her chest and one arm. These body parts were spread all over the city. The police were shocked to find them in so many different places. They had trouble understanding why someone would do something so terrible. The arrest also brought about the discovery of some body parts left near places where children play.
Investigators say technology placed Robinson at Anderson's home near Oklahoma and 39th Street on Milwaukee's south side. The next day, her severed leg was found at Warnemont Park in Cudahy, and more human remains were later found scattered across the city. Gruesome discovery, shocking many, including those in Anderson's neighborhood.
Even police officers who had worked for many years said they had never seen anything this awful. The horror got even bigger when another arm was found on a beach in Illinois weeks later.
On this beach, a passerby found Sade Robinson's remains.
Sade Sheena, that's a baby.
Tests showed it was also Sade's arm. This wasn't just someone trying to hide evidence. The killer wanted to cause more fear and pain, even after killing Sade. The finding of Sade's remains brought much torture to her family and the community at large. Such agony from such a tragedy necessitated her mother, Sheena, into activism for her daughter's voice and a warrior for justice. My baby did not deserve this, Sheena would tell reporters, her voice shaking in a mix of grief and anger. She hurt nobody. She was angelic. She put out good energy. She helped others. This is surreal. This is very concerning for the Milwaukee community.
Like, this is unsurreal, but this is very concerning for the Milwaukee community, all individuals and parents in the community. You need to be concerned about your kids.
You're right.
Be concerned where they're at. Sade's voice will be heard.
It has been devastating for Sade's mother, Sheena. She lost weight, does not sleep, and suffers from other physical symptoms of trauma. I can't describe it, she says, but I don't know how I'm doing it. I'm walking in Sade's spirit and in her grace. The community came together to show their love. Many people set up a special tribute to Sade in front of Maxwell Anderson's house.
A call put out to the community to decorate her accused killer, Maxwell Anderson's home, in her favorite color.
We're here to support and love and turn this evil into light.
It's just tragic, and I can't even imagine the unbearable pain that her mom must be going through. So just coming out to show support and that our Milwaukee community loves our Milwaukee girls.
Being here to support, her mom can see that she's not alone. Everyone here is grieving with her.
A hurtful grief that even these decorations can't mask.
I have a lot of community daughters, and it could have been one of them. She was just happy to go on a date. Who expected it to end like this?
They called it a pink out and filled the yard with pink balloons, posters, flowers, and stuffed animals. This beautiful tribute was very different from the awful things that happened inside the house. Even Anderson's own father told Sade's family how sorry he was about what his son had done. In September 2024, the community found a lasting way to remember Sade. They painted a bright, beautiful picture of her on a wall near Pizza Shuttle, the Milwaukee restaurant where she had worked her way up to become a manager. This painting does more than just help people remember her. It reminds everyone every day about the wonderful person who died too young and the good things she did in her life.
We did everything together. We confided in each other. Sade was so special to me. And I know that a lot of you guys share that experience. Everyone who knew her knew how special she was.
Sade's family can't have her funeral yet because they're still waiting to find the rest of her body.
The search is still on for the rest of Sade Robinson's remains.
Fox 6's Bria Jones spoke with Robinson's father tonight, who's looking for his daughter ahead of her memorial service.
In each wave, Carlos Robinson gets a glimpse of hope.
Just hopeful that I'll find her. Her life flashes before me from an infant to now.
The soothing sounds of Lake Michigan can't calm his yearning to find the remaining body parts of his daughter, Sade Robinson.
I don't want to find her, but I know I have to find her. So it's an internal conflict.
People have raised money online through GoFundMe to help pay for the funeral costs. Everyone keeps asking, why would someone do something this terrible? The difference between Sade and Anderson shows two very different life stories. Sade worked hard to build a good future for herself, but Anderson
That's okay. I definitely agree with that.
Failing, even
I
though he had
definitely
many
agree.
chances to do well. He had help from his family and lots of opportunities, but he couldn't keep jobs and often left them without explaining why. It all came down to what the police found when they looked at Anderson's computer and phone, online dating apps. They saw he kept very careful notes about everything. He wrote down details about all the women he met online, how they acted, which dating sites they used, and what they did. He watched them very closely and wrote down exactly what he liked. Someone also told police that Anderson planned his actions carefully. This shows that his dates weren't just random meetings. He was actually hunting for victims.
Records also claim another woman went on a date with Anderson in February. She says Anderson asked her back to his home. She believed he'd drink.
This case shows us the dangerous things that can hide behind dating apps and why people need to be
Them
careful.
dating apps,
Sade's
people
mother,
got to be
Sheena
careful with them
Scarborough,
dating
now
apps.
speaks up for her daughter and for all missing
These
people.
people not
She
who they
tells
say they
parents and
are.
young people to
They
be
have
more
fake
careful about
pictures
their
and
safety
everything.
and not to trust strangers too quickly.
And I'm speaking out for all of the other missing individuals, not just the Black and brown, but the missing individuals. There are young men.
Yes.
There are
Look,
other
did you see
individuals
them
of all
eyes?
colors. We represent all missing individuals that have not been found.
Every parent and every person should worry about keeping their kids safe, Sheena says. I'm using my voice to speak for Sade, and I'm also speaking up for all missing people, not just Black and brown people, but missing people of every race.
Yeah, all people,
As Maxwell
period.
Anderson awaits trial,
Color don't
the
mean
shocks of his
anything.
alleged evil doings travel far beyond his home shores of Milwaukee. What was once a tale of unspeakable horrors has transformed into something altogether different. A driving force for change, awareness, and action in the
You
community.
sure do.
Anderson has pleaded not guilty to
Yes, you
homicide,
do, Treasure.
mutilation, and arson charges. Documents show police spoke to the informant 2 weeks after Sade's death.
People remember Sade Robinson in many ways. Through the bright painting at Pizza Shuttle, the pink decorations that people placed at Anderson's house, and in how the community has come together to stop such terrible things from happening again. Her story has made people talk more about being safe when using dating apps and has pushed the companies that make these apps to think about how dangerous they can be. In Milwaukee, people think of Sade and feel sad about losing her, but they also remember to be more careful now because some parts of her body are still missing. Her family can't give her a proper funeral yet. But as time passes, more people learn from her story and want to make changes. Even though someone took Sade's life in such a cruel way, she continues to help others. Her story teaches people to be more careful, and the changes people make because of what happened to her might save other lives. Even as we wait for the trial of Maxwell Anderson and hope that justice will be served, what do you think about the circumstances surrounding Sade's death? Do you think dating apps are doing more harm than good in society?
Oh,
Let us know
harm.
your thoughts in the comment section.
Harm. Harm. This is dating apps is not good because you don't know who's really behind those dating apps. Hold on, y'all. I got another one for y'all. You don't know who's behind those dating apps. I'm being real. You don't know. People can put up fake pictures and you know what I'm saying, and say they anybody behind those fake apps. You know, you don't know who there, and then you just go out and meet a person that really don't know who you're meeting, and then you can't fight yourself and get away from them. That's sad. I mean, sometimes we gotta think. You know what I'm saying? You meet people in open spots. Like you don't meet someone in a closed-in spot. And I feel you don't want to meet nobody at nighttime. If you can't meet them during the day, I wouldn't meet them at all. Let your family know where you're going. I don't like talking about it too much, y'all, because it makes me sad. I don't like to see things like this happen. You know, I want everybody to be happy and be in a relationship. But what, I don't know, just, I don't know. I don't even know what else to say, y'all. It just breaks my heart so bad. Let me see. This one right here, I said she was shot dead for not getting her daughter. Okay, we're gonna watch this one here. Oh man. All right. Go on dates during the
He
daytime.
asked me on the video, when are you going to leave? And he just keep doing that. But he's not creating the environment where I'm in other situation where I can leave. Not financially, not physically, none of that. I can
Facts,
leave. I
Miss
can go
D.
look at my daughter, but
Yes.
that's what I have. With a 6-year-old.
Yeah, and it's not an ideal
It
situation.
don't make sense. It's not.
It's definitely not ideal.
In the early hours of June
Special K, you
23rd,
telling the truth.
2022, a 31-year-old woman and her 6-year-old daughter were found dead, killed by the very person who should have protected them. The woman was Aisha Nelson, a 31-year-old mother who was staying with her daughter in a certain man's house until he requested them to leave because Aisha was paying all the house rent and sometimes their well-being.
Yes, Treasure.
Aisha refused. But what this man did to Aisha and her 6-year-old daughter will leave you speechless about what some men can do.
Thank y'all
This
so much for
is the
coming in.
story
I
of
appreciate
Aisha
that.
Nelson.
Thank you.
Before we begin, we would love to extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Aisha Nelson, as well as everyone affected by this tragic incident. This story takes us all the way to Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio has a crime rate higher than the national average, particularly in violent crimes like assault, robbery, and homicide, which typically relates to the tragedy that will befall Aisha Nelson and her daughter. Aisha Nelson was born on March 12, 1991, in Newark, New Jersey, to Keely Nelson and Ryan Nelson. Although much about her family background wasn't disclosed due to privacy reasons, it was disclosed that she had a twin sister named Tangia Nelson. Aisha was a very intelligent lady who not only made sure to impart in her life, but also in those around her, making them really happy.
Hey,
Part of
Mother
her
Love.
educational background was a swift and hitch-free one, which saw her attend Central High School, after which she graduated in 2009. Aisha was a young woman, full of dreams and ambitions. Therefore, it was no surprise when she decided to join the U.S. Navy right after high school. This choice would go on to change her life forever, or maybe a place that would link her to her death. During her time in Navy training camp, Aisha met a man named Waverly Hawes, also known as Dante. Dante's lifestyle raised many red flags. Unlike most 32-year-old men, Dante didn't have a stable job or much independence. His dad owned multiple houses in one neighborhood, and Dante lived in one of those houses. His dad also supported his daily expenses, including care for Dante's 9-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. Despite all these red flags, Aisha's interest in Dante didn't fade. Surprisingly, the most troubling details about Dante were yet to come. Aisha knew that Dante had been convicted multiple times for domestic violence against his ex, the mother of his daughter. This raises a baffling question. What about Dante that made Aisha ignore all these warning signs? Her decision to stay with him, despite such alarming information, was truly puzzling. But more was about to happen. Things took an even more unexpected turn when Aisha moved in with her 6-year-old daughter to live with Dante and his daughter. Remarkably, the couple had no children together, yet Aisha chose to build a life with him. It was during this building process that Aisha recognized Dante's true character. When we say true character, many would think it was the fact that he became aggressive towards her. Well, that too was part of it, but that wasn't Aisha's immediate concern. Aisha's main concern was Dante's addiction to video games. While gaming itself wasn't necessarily a bad thing, it greatly affected his ability to contribute to the daily responsibilities of the household. Aisha had hoped moving in with Dante would bring her some relief, but instead, she found herself taking on both the role of breadwinner and the man of the house. Like most women, no matter how much love she had, this imbalance became a serious issue for Aisha. Therefore, this led to another big problem in the house of 4 people. They had several arguments about how his negligence to family needs and excessive love for games was draining the family. But Dante, as expected based on past instances, responded by being even more aggressive. While it could be said that Aisha knew all about his character and was prepared for it, nothing could have prepared her for what Dante would do next. It was in one of those days when Dante, 32 years old, would continue playing his video games, and Aisha, as usual, expressed her displeasure. However, unlike any argument they ever had, this one quickly spiraled out of control. Due to the fact that the environment wasn't safe, Aisha had procured a small gun for the protection of the family, but this weapon was soon used to threaten her own life. Dante picked up the gun and displayed it as though he was going to use it on her. Aisha, being fearless and feeling, of course, that Dante wouldn't be able to continue arguing with him, Dante's temper began to flare up, and he told her that if she didn't move out of the house, he was going to kill her. Remember, Dante had domestic issues with his daughter's mother. In fact, he was convicted for beating her, and Aisha knew this record about the person threatening her. It was at this point that Aisha began to really fear for her life. Therefore, she took immediate action. Not taking any chances with his threats, Aisha dialed the Dayton police dispatch number. She asked the dispatcher how to make a police report against someone, and the dispatcher encouraged her to go to a nearby police station where she could have an officer come over and take a report. Aisha reminded the dispatcher that she wasn't filing for an arrest, but that she just wanted to make a report in case something happened, because according to her, she was going to retaliate. Right at that moment, the dispatcher knew that the issue was beyond a mere disturbance, but it was actually a life-threatening situation. Therefore, she also made an extra effort. The dispatcher immediately made sure to identify a few shelter houses where she could be staying in case the situation was as life-threatening as it sounded. But Aisha once again reiterated that she didn't want to make an arrest, but a report. She asked the dispatcher to send officers to meet her at
That's
the
the
family
problem.
home,
We
a
have
place away from the house they stayed. Aisha,
Treasure.
with her
They don't
daughter,
want to
left
get
the
these men
house
locked
and
up.
drove to the meeting point. However, since she wasn't requesting an arrest, the officers dispatched delayed their response, prioritizing other pressing matters. Growing tired of waiting with her 6-year-old in the car, Aisha called back and told the dispatcher she would file a report the next day and that the police didn't need to come. Little did she know what was about to happen next. At about 2 a.m. on June 23rd, 2022,
Exactly,
Aisha heard a
Special
knock
K.
on the door,
Facts.
which she answered promptly.
Facts.
And when she got to the door, she must have been surprised when she saw 2 Dayton police officers. Aisha stated that she clearly never wanted police officers coming to her doorstep, as according to her, she didn't want the situation to escalate.
She was afraid of him. She was afraid. She was afraid of that man. Yo, I want y'all to know this happened in my town, in my city.
Hello. Hi. Did you call? I did, but I did see that I didn't want.
Hello, love me. Hey, boo.
Okay. Well, I called your phone. You didn't answer. I didn't get a call.
But she must have been more surprised when her estranged boyfriend came out the door and said this.
Hey, I called you, and she just locked me in the basement. You talk to her, I'll talk to you.
Aisha was shocked when Dante came out and admitted to calling the cops on her. However, sensing another episode of argument, the officers decided to interview them separately, where Aisha had some pretty interesting revelations. According to her, while Dante was flaunting the gun, she requested it because it was hers, and for some reason this infuriated Dante greatly, and he moved to their house basement with the gun. Not in Aisha's wildest imagination could she have expected what Dante threatened next.
Grabbed the gun. So he was like, "You're gonna get out of my house." So I was like,
She should just got him locked up.
like, you know, just okay. Like now at this point, he got the gun in his hand. So I let things calm down like an hour, and I was like, "Are you gonna give me my gun? Like I don't care what you do with it, but you need to put it down. Like give me my gun." So he was like, "This my gun is registered in my name now. We got it right after."
So where is it now?
He has it. He has it downstairs in the basement.
Well, since we're talking about guns, you mind just keeping hands in your pocket? Perfect. Thank you.
So last night, he had the gun in his hand. He came back upstairs like, we just started arguing. He was like, "You'll get out of here. I'll get my sisters and everybody to beat you up." And I was like, "You're not gonna do nothing." He was like, "Matter of fact, get out." I said, "You can't put me out. I pay rent here." So he was like, "You really want me to lose your life over a gun? Like seriously? Like you really trying to provoke me?"
Dante not only threatened to make sure she lost her life because she was challenging him over the gun, but also promised to inform his sisters and mobilize them to beat the hell out of Aisha. But as shocking as this may sound, Dante was in the basement planning something. From the basement, Dante continued telling Aisha to leave the house and made sure to constantly ask her when she was leaving. While this may seem basic, it's more complex than we think. But why wasn't Aisha leaving? Aisha was the man of the home and the one responsible for the day-to-day running, including paying the rent. Worse still, Dante's trouble saw Aisha lose a sizable amount of money on her credit card. And as if she had not enough cash to afford a hotel room for a night, Dante also made sure to confiscate the card, claiming sole ownership over it. So, if Aisha and her daughter were to leave the home, it would see her stranded, and this was a fact she was well aware of, and made sure to express to Dante, and one of the major reasons she had to call dispatch in the first place. After several minutes of explaining her ordeal, the officers realized
Love
that
me. You
this
can hit me
was
up on
indeed
IG
not a favorable situation for
if
Aisha.
you like to.
I just don't see how this is a situation where she believes it. I mean, she's saying she believes it's a genuine threat.
Special K, I'd have been out the door.
that's the case, why are you
That
staying
man was
here? Why are you
dangerous.
putting yourself in this situation?
However, Aisha, who probably thought the situation would be solved owing to the presence of the police in the issue, was heartbroken by what they told her as a solution. They told her to leave the house.
You legitimately don't feel like this is a good living situation for you, then like, for me, if I was in a situation that wasn't good for me, I would want to get out.
Okay, but hear
The fact
me
that
out.
you're saying like, no, I'm gonna
here.
stay.
I just got here. I don't have a relative's house I could go to. He wants to be here in the heat of this situation. Like I said, his dad owns 4 houses on this block. He could go to his granny house. He could go anywhere. You said cool.
But the cops is trying to help her. But she don't see that.
An uncomfortable situation for me, to where not only can I not live here peacefully, but he's making it to where I can't even go because he took my money. He cleaned the account out. He cut off my credit cards. That's what he's doing. So what am I supposed to do?
The fact that this is a family member's house, like one of his family members' houses, you know he's not going anywhere, and they're not going to put him out unless you stay. It's just not.
He can willfully leave.
Aisha wasn't a native of that place, and neither did she have any family members or friends to put up with. She moved in with Dante solely because of love, and this same love allowed her to shut everyone out of her life to focus on him and her daughter.
Yes,
Worse
Mr.
still,
K, yes.
Aisha had been the man of the house, catering for the day-to-day expenses, and that includes the rent. So telling her to leave the apartment seemed a little out of place for her.
Y'all,
So
his
she
family
suggested
owned
that
this
they remove
house.
Dante from the
That's
apartment.
why he felt
The
and was
officers
doing
at
the
this
things
point
that
had a
he felt
decision
like
to
he
make.
can do.
The officers then moved to consult each other in order to know the next step.
Right, but what?
I think his
Are
dad.
you guys going to stay together?
No, we're not together. That's it.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, if it was your family and your family's house, are they going to put you out and let him stay?
No, nobody's gonna get put out. Nobody's getting put out. But I'm like I explained to you, I'm not gonna go somewhere and just.
Yo, I don't think she's clearly trying to like understand what the cop trying to say. This is his family home. His family owns this house. So this is why he feel he can do what he want to do, say what he want to say. I mean, not treat her like that, because you don't treat no woman like that. If you don't want her, just let her go. But what the cop is trying to explain to her, he's not going to leave because this is his family house. So the cop is trying to tell her basically to get her things and leave the house to, reconcile this issue, what's going on. But I guess she's not trying to hear that. She said he drained her banking account. She don't have no money. And I don't know. But y'all hear it.
Just pour all of my money into it, and he's personally exhausting all of my funds, which I didn't have an issue with it. But then it's like,
yes, you should have had an issue with it.
Clean me out. It's like, okay, I don't know what fight I don't know if this is a financial thing for him or what. But now it's like, okay, now
I'm just something ain't right with him.
To where I'm gonna make it to where I'm not gonna make you
leave,
Lisa, but I want you to go.
However, what the officers would do next became an intricate
okay,
part
Brittany.
of the story and was a determining factor in the immediate future. The officers not only chose to leave without confiscating the gun, but also left without issuing him a warning, a decision that would have devastating consequences by morning. Aisha went back to the house and silence set in. The following morning, a family member of Aisha.
Yeah, it sounds like she wants to be in the control, but they already stated that she was the man and the woman in the house. She's paying all the bills, she's doing everything. So she want to be a little in control there. But now she's not really winning this situation at all. The cop is standing there explaining to her the situation. This is his family house. His family owns this house. If this was your family house, would your family put you out? No. So she's trying to tell her to get your stuff and leave to dispute this situation. But she does not want to leave. Then she did leave and she came back to the house again.
Aisha, aware of the ongoing conflicts, tried to contact her, but received no response. Fearing the worst, they called the police to perform a welfare check at the apartment she stayed. When officers arrived, nothing looked out of order, but the silence told something. But they kept moving all through the house to the basement, where they found the lifeless bodies of Aisha Nelson and her daughter, Harper Gwen. Dante was nowhere to be found. There was no doubt that all evidence pointed at his direction.
Exactly,
And the
Special
police
K.
were now left with one job alone. The news of Aisha Nelson and her daughter Harper Gwen's death reached Aisha's mother, Keely Nelson, and her sister, Tangia Nelson, were left devastated by the sudden loss. They described their grief as overwhelming, struggling to comprehend how such a tragedy could occur after Aisha had reached out for help.
Sometimes, like, I can't believe that my sister is not here. And then me being her twin sister is like, I'm just broken.
However, the days to follow were ones not to forget in a hurry. With the case officially classified as a homicide, the police focused solely on tracking down Dante. They knew he wouldn't be close by, but they searched the town anyway. After a fruitless search within the city, they widened their scope and extended their search to neighboring states. It was there, in a distant location, that they would make another startling discovery. They knew Dante was in the car and armed. Therefore, from a distance, they called out to him to get out of the car willingly, but Dante refused. As the officers closed in on the vehicle,
Yes, she had a
one
twin
officer
sister.
peered inside and saw a motionless figure. He signaled to the rest, and they discovered Dante in Alabama, dead in his car from self-inflicted injury, using the gun he had. In the days following the discovery of Aisha
Look
and
at that, the
Harper's
unalived
bodies,
itself.
Keely and Tangia spoke publicly about their pain. They emphasized Aisha's love for her daughter and how she had been a devoted mother. Keely expressed her heartbreak over losing both her daughter and granddaughter in such a violent manner. The family shared their memories of Aisha, highlighting her vibrant spirit
Now
and
he was wrong
dedication
for
to her
taking out her
family.
child.
But they were
You
about
know,
to take
that
very
baby didn't have
serious action
anything to
against
do
the
with it.
police.
Nothing.
A
And that's what I
significant
don't like
aspect
about
of the
when men do
family's
stuff like
reaction
that.
involved their criticism of the Dayton Police Department's handling of the situation. Keely and Tangia were vocal about their belief that law enforcement had failed Aisha by not taking her threats seriously.
My daughter and my granddaughter were
Exactly,
that's
Special
it.
K.
They were,
Hey, Miss
I know
Lewis.
nothing else.
I hold the officers accountable. Yeah, because if they would have did a better job with judgment, all three of them would be here.
They didn't do their job. And now Asia and Harper are gone. It's about to be 4 months. They are no longer with us because police failed to protect them.
They pointed out that Aisha had explicitly asked for help and that the police's decision to leave without further action contributed to the tragic outcome.
He didn't start doing any of this until after he grabbed the gun. And this is the second.
Well, I don't think the police failed her. I really don't think that. This is just my opinion. You know, y'all can say y'all opinion in the chat. I don't think the police failed her in this case here. The police was giving her all the good advice that she can give her to pack her things and leave and let him stay in the house. She chose to stay there in the house because she was paying all the bills. She said he drained her account. She didn't have no money. But she had her mother, she had her twin sister she could have went to. I felt like she loved him so much, she did not want to leave that house. Now, we all heard what this cop said. This cop was giving her good advice. So at this point, I don't think the cop failed her. Now, if y'all think I'm wrong, y'all can correct me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the cop failed her at all. I really don't think that. You know, I think she felt herself at this point. Because she was so in love with this man, she did not want to leave that house. She wanted some type of control. Even though we know she was paying the bills. She was doing everything there. When she say he stayed in the basement all day long with the pow-pow, that was a red flag to wake up. Why is this man always in the basement? He's not working. He don't have a job. You know, you're working. You're doing everything. His family owned this house. That he owned more houses on the block y'all was living on. I mean, come on. That's just my opinion.
He said 2 times, asked me, am I willing to lose my life? And I don't like that.
This sentiment resonated with many in the community who felt that more should have been done to protect Aisha and Harper. In response to their grief and anger, Aisha's family decided to take legal action against the city of Dayton and its police department.
First at 10, it's been more than 6 months since Aisha Nelson
called police to say her ex-boyfriend was threatening to kill
Exactly,
her.
He
Special
followed
K.
through on those threats, and now an internal investigation blames, in part, two Dayton police officers' response to Nelson's calls for help.
Exactly, Treasure.
John, both Aisha's family and attorney Michael Wright say that police did
Yeah,
not
she
listen
ignored
to
everything,
her help,
Lisa.
and it ultimately resulted in her and her daughter's lives being taken.
2 lives were lost, and we're saying that a 30-day suspension is warranted.
Nobody can get
and
justice. He's
some
gone,
retraining.
she's gone.
What needs to
An
happen
innocent
is
baby was
immediate
taken away.
termination and retraining of the entire Dayton Police Department.
They filed a lawsuit alleging negligence, claiming that the officer's failure to act on Aisha's pleas for help directly contributed to her death and that of her daughter. The lawsuit aimed not only to seek justice for Aisha and Harper, but also to raise awareness about domestic violence and the need for better protective measures for victims. However, and in no time, the response to this lawsuit was one swift and shocking. In response to the lawsuit, 2 police officers involved were suspended for 160 hours and required to undergo additional training. This indicated a recognition of potential misconduct in their handling of the domestic dispute call. The family aimed not only for justice, but also for changes in police protocols regarding domestic violence cases to prevent similar tragedies. However, in May 2023, a Montgomery County judge dismissed the wrongful death lawsuit, ruling against claims of negligence and duty to protect by the officers. The family's attorney announced plans to appeal this decision, indicating ongoing efforts to hold the police accountable and push for systemic changes in how domestic violence cases are managed. The case has continued to draw attention to the need for better protection for victims of domestic violence and more effective law enforcement responses. As part of their efforts to honor Aisha's memory, Keely and Tangia became advocates for domestic violence awareness. They participated in community discussions and events aimed at educating others about the signs of domestic abuse and the importance of taking such threats seriously. Their goal was to ensure that no other family would have to endure a similar tragedy due to inaction from law enforcement. The loss of Aisha Nelson and Harper Gwynn has had a lasting impact on their family, friends, and community. Their story has become a strong reminder of the critical need for effective responses to domestic violence situations. The family's advocacy efforts continue as they seek justice while
Exactly,
honoring the
Special
memories
K.
of their
She said
beloved
that.
daughter and granddaughter.
So she was
This
taken up for
tragic
his
event
abuse.
underscores not only the personal loss experienced
And
by
Special K,
Aisha's
you right
family,
too.
but
His
also
family
highlights
owned that home.
broader
They couldn't make him
societal
leave.
issues related to domestic violence, law enforcement protocols, and community support systems. As we mourn the tragic loss of Aisha Nelson and her daughter Harper, difficult questions linger. Could Aisha have done more to protect herself and her child?
Yes.
Many might argue she should have left sooner, but we can't ignore the challenges she faced. Dante not only drained her financially by maxing out her credit cards, but left her isolated in a place where she had no
Yeah,
support
he was
network.
wrong for that.
Some may also point to her decision to move in with him so quickly, or her willingness to overlook glaring red flags. Yet, Aisha's soft-hearted nature and belief in giving second chances made her vulnerable in ways she couldn't have foreseen. It's heartbreaking how this story ended, but we wonder, could anything have been done differently? And what about the role of the Dayton police? Did their inaction contribute to this tragedy? What steps could have been taken to save 2 innocent lives? As always, remember to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Perhaps someone learns from your experience.
Well, I think she should have had left because she know he was abusive. She knows that. That's why she didn't want the police there, because she didn't want the police to arrest him, because she know he was abusive. So she already knew that. Okay. The cop told her she couldn't make him leave because his family did own the home, so they could not make him leave. They told her to leave. Now, him draining her account, that was absolutely wrong. How he get to her account, she had to be the one that give him the credit cards, the account numbers, or whatever for him to drain the account. Okay? I feel she missed a lot of red flags here. She put her own self in danger. She also was not thinking about her child at any time. What he did to that child was very wrong. Okay? If you was going to do anything to her, you should have left that child alone. That child was innocent. She didn't have anything to do with her and her mother and your relationship at all. That was not even your child. Okay? You took away someone else's child that wasn't even your child. But I do feel she missed a lot of red flags. I mean, a whole lot. A whole lot of red flags. She knew this man was abusive. That's why she never wanted to call the cops on him. She never wanted the cops at her door because she knew this man was abusive. I mean, come on. I mean, the cops was giving her good advice. Y'all heard that yourself. He was giving her good advice. The cop was telling her to leave. She didn't want to leave. I mean, what more they can do? They couldn't make her leave. She didn't want to leave. She chose to stay there. And unfortunately, a sad story like this, it ended her life. I mean, love is blind. You love these men so much until you don't even see the red flags when they're right there in front of your eyes. That's the sad part about it. All right. Sad. Oh boy. Let me see. All right, we just did that one. I don't know. Did we do this one? She was shot dead by her husband's after the wedding. I don't know if I did this one or not. I may have. Let me see. These stories is just, oh God, y'all, they too much sometimes. All right, let me see about this one here. Let me see. Miss D, when the police said he called because
It
he
brought me and my mom a
slapped
lot
him
closer. I
and
wanted her to be
lied,
a
I
part
would
of
have
it.
left in. Yes,
28th,
exactly,
2023.
Treasure.
Officers responded to an emergency call from a popular restaurant in North Charleston, South Carolina.
A
They
thousand
arrived to
red
find
flags.
Maya Jennifer
Right.
Simmons, who had been shot
She
on the ground.
felt herself
Although
and her
people were
child.
attempting
Exactly,
CPR on the
Special
woman,
K.
she passed away when she was taken to the hospital. Maya, a 30-year-old businesswoman and mother of 8 kids, was murdered by Keisha Simmons Birch, her fiance's ex-girlfriend, who was enraged that her ex-boyfriend had proposed to a new woman.
Oh,
Tensions were
Lord,
high
have
when the
mercy,
two
Jesus.
met, and in a fit of jealousy, this innocent woman was shot because Keisha could not just move on. This is the story of Maya Jennifer Simmons, who was loved by so many but taken far too soon in a senseless act of violence. As we explore the details of what occurred that night, we offer our sincerest condolences to Maya Jennifer's family, friends, and the many customers she served. Also, we would like to take this crime case as a close reminder to everyone to be careful. Our story takes us to North Charleston, a city in South Carolina. Maya was a hard-working mother of 8. She was the mother of 8 children named Monier Rivers, Desire White, Tanila Sumter, Tamaya Sumter, Ava Moore, Chase Daniels, and Journey Jones. Unfortunately, one half of twin daughters, Dream Jones, had died years before, making her a mother of 9 before her untimely demise. Despite the heartache, Maya pushed on to raise her children. She was very involved in their lives and taught her children how precious God is. She was the proud owner of the Treat Fairy Collection, an eyelash selling business, and Treats by Maya, which was a baking business that was doing well in North Charleston, South Carolina. Not only that, but she also owned a 360 photo booth service, where people would pay to use a 360-degree camera photo booth, making her a true entrepreneur at heart. At that time, life was good for Maya. Financially, she was doing great, and she was also a
Yeah,
great
they
mother
do,
to her
treasure.
kids. One thing was about to happen to make her life even more perfect. And, as fate would have it, Maya had even more reason to smile. Her boyfriend, Tyrone Jones, a man she had grown close to, had just proposed, marking what should have been the beginning of a new chapter in her life. While she was blissful and excited about her new status as an engaged woman, she had no idea that her fiance's past would come looking for her in the form of Keisha Simmons Birch. Maya's fiance had previously been in a relationship with another woman named Keisha Simmons Birch, a 39-year-old businesswoman. Their surnames were not the only thing that was similar. Keisha also ran her own business, making both of them strong, independent women. However, Keisha had a problem. She was still in love with Maya's fiance, her ex-boyfriend. Their relationship had ended, or so it seemed, but things were
Wow.
far from settled. Keisha was still very much in the picture, and the breakup wasn't as clean as everyone had hoped. Keisha couldn't accept that her ex had moved on, especially with Maya, a younger woman who was now set to marry the man she still had feelings for. The two did not like each other at all, and they made it known. Social media posts, messages, and insults were exchanged, but things hadn't yet become aggressive. That was until that night in late July 2023. It's not entirely clear how it all went down, but both women ended up at the same spot, a restaurant known as the Bloom Room located in Dorchester Road. What should have been a night out turned into the final moments of Maya's life. Around 2 a.m., the encounter happened. An argument started between Keisha and Maya. Words flew back and forth, escalating until Keisha made a decision that would forever change multiple lives. Keisha walked back to her car, grabbed a gun, and shot Maya multiple times. People at the scene immediately took action. They called the authorities and attempted CPR.
Now, both of
Officers
these were
responded to
successful
the Bloom
women.
Room around 2:15 a.m. and found Maya on the ground. The EMS took over life-saving measures, and she was transported to a local hospital. Everyone
Bless you,
hoped for a
Katie.
miracle to happen in Maya's situation. Maya, a mother, a daughter, a friend, a soon-to-be bride, fought for her life, but she died shortly before 3 a.m.
The Charleston County coroner has also identified the victim from a separate shooting early this morning in North Charleston. Officials say 30-year-old Maya Jennifer Simmons died at an emergency room after a shooting in the 6800 block of Dorchester Road. North Charleston police responded just after 2 in the morning to the parking lot of Bloom Room.
Keisha, after shooting Maya, fled the scene. For nearly 2 weeks, she was nowhere to be found, leaving Maya's family and friends not only grieving but also angry. Justice had not yet been served, and the woman responsible for Maya's death was still out there, free. But the weight of the situation eventually caught up with her. On Friday, August 11th, 2023, Keisha Simmons Birch turned herself over to the police.
North Charleston police say that a woman has turned herself in for a July shooting that left one person dead. 39-year-old Keisha Simmons Birch has been charged with manslaughter and possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. This is in connection to the shooting at the Bloom Room on July 28th that killed 30-year-old Maya Jennifer Simmons. North Charleston police found Simmons shot. She later died at the hospital. Birch turned herself in today and has been booked into the Al Cannon Detention Center.
She was charged with manslaughter and possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a violent crime. During her bond hearing, Keisha's family pleaded for leniency. They claimed she wasn't eating or sleeping in jail, and her attorney argued
I don't know,
that she
treasure. They
acted in
didn't say.
self-defense.
Maya Jennifer couldn't kill you with her hands. She didn't have a gun. It's not self-defense. It's not stand your ground. We don't even have that law here in South Carolina. That's in Florida. We're not in Florida. You made a bad decision, and it's going to cost you some bad consequences.
The family pushed for her release on bond so she could return to her 3 children, but Maya's family wasn't having it. They strongly fought against the bond, saying that Maya wasn't the aggressor. She wasn't looking for a fight that night, and she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
My granddaughter was not an aggressive person. Whatever happened that night, my granddaughter was baited or aggravated to that point. You can't get a person on anywhere that will tell you Maya Jennifer Simmons was an aggressive aggressor person.
The judge ultimately granted a $200,000 bond, and when Keisha pays, she would be out of jail and able to wait for her trial under house arrest. Many netizens are enraged at Keisha's charges. In South Carolina, manslaughter is the unlawful intentional killing of another person without malice, and if it is voluntary manslaughter, it is punishable by 2 to 30 years in prison. People believe that this should be charged as murder, which is the intentional killing under circumstances defined by law of people within or under the jurisdiction of the U.S. state of South Carolina. The perpetrator will
Hey,
spend a
OG.
mandatory minimum term of imprisonment for 30 years to life. This difference in charges means that Keisha can only spend 2 to 30 years in jail. What do you think? With the way this crime was described, should the charges be manslaughter or murder? The case is still ongoing, and both families are left grappling with the fallout of that
Yeah,
tragic
I do
night.
believe with some
On
jealousy
one
there.
side,
Absolutely.
Maya's children will grow up without their mother, while on the other side, Keisha's children face the possibility of losing their mother to the justice system for years to come. What is strange about this case is that there is little information about Tyrone Jones,
I was going
Maya's
to say, what
fiance,
about him?
and Keisha's ex-boyfriend. Most of the interviews were granted by Maya's family members, and he has stayed out of the media. While it was only speculated that Tyrone was dating the two women at the same time, one Facebook post from Maya's sister hinted that Tyrone had moved on too fast, and she was not happy about it. That moment when you're sitting there trying to enjoy your niece's Black History performance and you overhear a convo between the kids regarding who braided their hair, this clown really had the bee he's sleeping with not only braid their hair, he also took them on a date bowling with her and her kids. Maya Jennifer Simmons hasn't even been gone a little over 6 months, and the MFer, who is the cause of her death, has been doing the most disrespectful things since she's died. This isn't the only thing or the first instance. Then, the chick had the audacity to be sending her condolences on Facebook right after she died, sharing stats and everything. I am so upset I couldn't even sleep last night. The ripple effects of this tragedy extend far beyond the two women
Yes, this
involved.
man is
It's a
messy, and I believe he
reminder
was
of how
messing with both of
quickly
them at the
things can
same time.
escalate when emotions run high. One
Even though he had broke up with the first girlfriend, I do believe he was still seeing her, but had the second new woman thinking that he was not messing with the other woman. But I do believe he was. I do believe he was. And I believe this man was very messy.
moment, you're out with friends, making memories, and the next, your life is over. Maya's memory deserves to be more than just a headline. Her life was rich with love, laughter, and ambition, and though she's gone, her story will continue to resonate, reminding us all of the importance of kindness, and most importantly, the value of human life. Thank you so much once again for watching another video by Wednesday Crime. If you like the way we bring you stories or you learned something new today, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. As always, remember to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Perhaps.
Okay, that was that one. Yeah, I believe this man was messy, y'all. I really do believe this man was messy. I do believe he was, because you got men out here like that. They'll tell you that they're not in a relationship, and I don't mess with her no more because she this, she that, and I'm tired of going through this with her. But no, that don't be the case. And sometimes women don't do their research on it. You know what I'm saying? And then as soon as they meet a man starts talking about the ex, a woman help him talk about the ex. Don't help him talk about the ex, baby, because he may be still messing with the ex. Okay? You need to step back and do your research. So let's see about this one. Let me see what's.
With the Personal Preference Program,
Baby.
you can choose and pay for the home
I
care
mean, they was
services you
both
want,
pretty women.
hiring caregivers you know and trust.
Thanksgiving night, Allegheny County Police found Taylor's body in a tote bag found under wet and dry concrete.
We're talking about Adriana Taylor. She was reported missing just over 2 weeks ago.
Exactly, Treasure. He was a user. Yes.
In the late hours of November 24th, 2022, a
OG
woman's
said,
body
"I'm
was
late
found
to
in
the
a tote
party."
bag at the backyard of a home in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. When police officers arrived at the scene, they were able to identify the body as that of 29-year-old Adriana Taylor, buried and showing signs of having been shot in the head. Earlier on, Adriana was declared missing by her family members, and now with her death confirmed, all fingers pointed to one person. But the reason this woman was killed is so shocking.
I believe that,
Adriana
Lisa.
Carey Taylor was born on March 3, 1999, in Marysville, Ohio, to Anya Carey Perry and Cedric Taylor. She was educated in Cleveland and had a strong commitment to her studies. While specific details about her educational background are limited, it is known that she completed her schooling in the Cleveland area and then got a job like everyone wishes to get. Adriana worked at a local retail store, where she was recognized for her friendly demeanor and work ethic. Her colleagues described her as a hard-working individual who enjoyed interacting with customers. Adriana's career path reflected her aspirations and dedication to building a stable future. Adriana was living an independent life, balancing work and spending time with friends and family. Her vibrant routine naturally drew people to her, new friends, admirers, and even potential suitors. Among them was one man who seemed like a dream come true. But what Adriana didn't know was that this man wasn't a blessing. He was a mistake, one so devastating it would cost her everything. A mistake she wouldn't live to regret. Adriana was working her shift at a local retail store in Cleveland when she first met Anthony Kennedy. It was a bustling Saturday afternoon, and the store was filled with customers. Adriana, known for her warm smile and friendly demeanor, was busy assisting a group of shoppers when she noticed a tall man browsing the electronics department. He seemed out of place, his eyes scanning the shelves with a mix of curiosity and confusion. As fate would have it, Anthony approached Adriana for help finding a specific item. Their conversation began casually, but there was an undeniable spark between them. Despite the 20-year age difference, Adriana being just 23 and Anthony in his early 40s, they found themselves drawn to each other in a way neither had anticipated. Over the next few weeks, their interactions became more frequent. Anthony would come into the store often, sometimes just to see Adriana. They shared laughter over inside jokes and exchanged stories about their lives. Adriana's dreams of traveling and pursuing her passions, and Anthony's experience that shaped him into the man he was today. This was where feelings began to go out of control. What started as innocent flirtation quickly blossomed into something deeper. They began meeting outside of work,
Okay,
enjoying
Treasure,
coffee
thank
dates
you for
and
coming through.
long
Thank you.
walks
I
in the park.
appreciate it.
Adriana appreciated Anthony's mature perspective on life, while he admired her youthful spirit and ambition. Their
Thank
connection
you for
felt
coming. I
natural,
enjoyed you. Thank
as
you.
if they had known each other for years. And soon enough, Adriana lost it all. Adriana found herself falling for Anthony in ways she had never imagined possible. He brought stability and warmth into her life, qualities she had been searching for amidst the chaos of young adulthood. For Anthony, Adriana represented a fresh start, a chance to rediscover joy and love. And then, the couple felt it was time to take a huge step. They decided to take a significant step together. Moving in, they found a cozy duplex in Cleveland where they would build their lives together. However, this didn't come easy. Living together brought its own set of challenges, but they faced them hand in hand. They created a home filled with laughter, late night conversations, and shared dreams for the future. Adriana felt secure with Anthony by her side, believing that their love could withstand any obstacle. But then, in an instant, everything changed. As time went on, subtle changes began to surface in their relationship. Friends noticed Adriana's growing concerns about Anthony's behavior, moments of anger that seemed out of character for the man she had fallen in love with. Their love story took a devastating turn when Adriana went missing in November. The future they had envisioned together was abruptly shattered, leaving behind unanswered questions and heartache for those who loved her. Adriana's family had always been close knit, sharing laughter and support through life's ups and downs. But as the days turned into weeks without hearing from Adriana, a heavy cloud of worry settled over them. It was November 13th, 2022, when her aunt and cousin made the heart-wrenching decision to report her missing. They had tried everything, calling her phone, reaching out to friends, but each unanswered call deepened their anxiety. The police took the report seriously, launching an investigation that would soon reveal something troubling. Days passed with no leads, and the family felt helpless. They plastered flyers around town. Each day without news felt like an eternity, and whispers of concern grew louder among friends and family. They gathered in prayer circles, hoping for a miracle while trying to cope with an unsettling feeling that something was terribly wrong. Meanwhile, in the shadows of Cleveland, Anthony was coping with his own demons. As investigators began to look into
Ooh,
his background, they uncovered a history of
demons.
troubling behavior. Friends of Adriana began to voice their concerns about his temper and possessiveness. The family's worries intensified as they learned more about the man who had become such a significant part of Adriana's life. But due to the fact that nothing was confirmed yet, no arrests were made. But that was soon about to change as a very settling discovery was about to be made worse still, in the most unlikely way ever. It was Thanksgiving night, November 24th, 2022. A neighbor in Wilkinsburg was carrying on with their usual routine when their doorbell camera captured something bizarre, something they couldn't explain. It was Anthony stepping out of his car and going out to grab some type of bag in which bodies are known to be put in from a trunk, after which he heads to the back of the house while looking around in a suspicious manner. Disturbed by the scene, the neighbor called for police intervention immediately. 2 hours later, at around 8 p.m., Wilkinsburg police officers were at the scene in their numbers to investigate. The organized response was due to the fact that they already had their suspicions about Anthony, and there was no progress whatsoever on the missing Adriana. While they'd hoped their suspicions to be wrong, they found something very disturbing. As they began their search, the officers meticulously combed through the backyard, where they suspected something sinister had occurred. It was around 8:45 p.m. when law enforcement started to gather evidence, moving in and out of the house for over 2 hours. The atmosphere was heavy with anticipation and dread, as family and friends waited anxiously for any news about Adriana. But little did they know that their hearts were about to be shattered. The breakthrough came when investigators discovered a large construction bag buried beneath layers of wet and dry concrete. As they carefully excavated the area, their hearts raced with the possibility of what they might find. Inside the construction bag, they uncovered a smaller tote bag that contained Adriana's lifeless body. The sight was horrific. The medical examiner later confirmed that Adriana had died from a gunshot wound to the head, ruling her death a homicide. The details were chilling. She had been buried in such a way that it suggested an attempt to conceal her fate.
Discover your new Nissan right
Wow.
now at Nissan City of Springfield. Come lease a 2025 Nissan Sentra for $171 per month for 39 months.
And with that being established, the officers had one task left. In the days following the discovery of Adriana's body, authorities intensified their search for Anthony. He was considered armed and dangerous, prompting local law enforcement and the FBI to issue alerts for his capture. The manhunt garnered significant media attention as investigators worked tirelessly to locate him. The U.S. Marshals Service announced a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to his arrest.
Last half hour, we received this flyer from Cleveland Police. Crime Stoppers now offering up to $5,000 for information leading to his arrest.
This bounty not only underscored the urgency of the situation, but also aimed to encourage anyone with knowledge of Anthony's whereabouts to come forward. The announcement of the bounty gained significant media attention, amplifying the search for Anthony across multiple platforms. The public was urged to remain vigilant and report any sightings or tips regarding his location. The emotional weight of Adriana's tragic story resonated with many, leading to increased community involvement in the search efforts. Finally, on November 30th, 2022, just days after the bounty was announced and following extensive media coverage, Anthony turned himself in at the Allegheny County Police Department in Pittsburgh.
3-year-old Anthony Kennedy turning himself in to police 2 days after a warrant was issued for his arrest. The same day, investigators in Cleveland raided a home in search of him. Walking alongside Kennedy today, his attorney, Blaine Jones.
His decision to surrender came after days of being on the run and under intense scrutiny from law enforcement and the public alike. Anthony was taken into custody without incident and subsequently charged with aggravated murder. The legal proceedings began as he awaited extradition back to Ohio for arraignment. The bounty had served its purpose, drawing attention to the case and ultimately leading to his capture. As Adriana's family mourned their loss and sought justice, they remained hopeful that the legal system would hold Anthony accountable for his alleged actions. The courtroom became a place where their grief transformed into determination as they fought for justice in memory of Adriana, a vibrant young woman whose life had been tragically cut short. Anthony was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Adriana. The sentencing took place on December 19th, 2023, following a trial that revealed the harrowing details of Adriana's death and the events leading up to it. Throughout the investigation and trial, there was a palpable sense of anger towards Anthony, especially as more details emerged about his behavior during their relationship. Many in the community had concerns about Anthony prior to Adriana's death, but felt powerless to intervene. This sentiment was echoed by friends who expressed regret for not speaking up sooner about their worries regarding her safety. Community reactions included vigils held in Adriana's memory, where friends and family gathered to honor her life and call for justice. The outpouring of support demonstrated how deeply her loss affected those around her. Many hoped that the outcome of the trial would serve as a warning about domestic violence and encourage others to seek help in similar situations. As the case concluded with Anthony's life sentence, it brought some measure of closure to Adriana's family and friends. However, the emotional scars left by her murder would linger, reminding the community of the importance of vigilance and support for those facing domestic violence. The next case, equally troubling, would bring you to your knees, as it involves a really gruesome and mysterious true crime case involving a killer she met online.
This is freaking unsurreal. Like, I don't know how we were placed in this nightmare by this demon. Okay. Demon. And I don't want to go there, but there's no other terminology for individuals that move like this. Sociopaths, paths, like type energy. I don't know what the motive would have been. I don't know how sociopaths and psychopaths think. Like, this is unsurreal, but this is very concerning for the Milwaukee community.
On April 2nd, 2024, the remains of a woman were seen at Warnemont Park, Cudahy, Wisconsin. However, there was something particularly troubling about this discovery. The investigators discovered that the body belonged to 19-year-old Sade Robinson, and she was just killed and dismembered by a man she had only met online. While this was particularly troubling,
Oh, they
the
gotta
most
stop
troubling
this
part was
online
yet to
meeting.
be revealed. Investigators would later discover that this was just one of 4 different body parts to be discovered.
Yes,
As the
Lisa,
woman was dismembered
absolutely.
and scattered
This
across
online
different
dating,
locations.
you gotta stop this. Stop
is
it.
the heartbreaking story of Sade Robinson. Before we begin, we would love to extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Sade Robinson, as well as everyone affected by her gruesome murder. This story takes us all the way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where culture and industry thrive. It also faces challenges with higher than average crime rates. While some neighborhoods are safer, efforts to reduce violent and property crimes continue across the city. It is in this city we find Sade Robinson and her family. Sade was born on May 10, 2004 in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin before she turned 2 years old. Throughout her childhood, she split her time between Milwaukee and Florida, where her father Carlos Robinson lived. Despite her parents not being married, they worked to co-parent effectively. Sade had a close-knit family and was described as a supportive older sister, known for her initiative and strong work ethic from a young age. Sade graduated from high school a semester early after relocating from Florida back to Milwaukee in late 2019. This early graduation highlighted her dedication and academic capabilities. In fact, she was in her final semester at Milwaukee Area
Yes,
Technical
OG.
College,
Yes.
pursuing an Associate of Arts degree in criminal justice. She was just a month away from graduating and
Have
had
you noticed all
aspirations.
these women got
Aspirations
careers
which
doing
included
good
her
for
owning her
themselves?
own apartment. She knew
Have
she had to
y'all
work
noticed
harder than
that?
normal in order to achieve that, so she began working 2 jobs at the time. She worked at the Wisconsin Country Club, as well as the Pizza Shuttle, which was located on Milwaukee's east side. At the pizza place, she worked
Okay,
at the
I think
counter
this
and
is
was said to
another
be a
one.
customer's favorite. Her coworkers loved her also, especially
I
because
think we
of her
already
dedication
did
and
this one
commitment to her
today. Let me
job.
see.
She was so independent, self sufficient. She had her whole life ahead of her. She worked 2 jobs. She was dedicated. She was strong.
Hold
2
on.
full-time
Let me
jobs.
see.
The pizza shuttle. She was ranked up to manager. She started working there in the 10th grade, was ongoing, getting promoted, dollar raises every 6 months. So they wanted her to be manager. She worked at the Wisconsin Club, part-time, the Wisconsin Country Club.
This dedication, however, came easily to Sade, who was excited about her future, particularly her ambition to join the U.S. Air Force. Her dedication and work ethic was what made it mysteriously troubling when on April 2nd, 2024, Sade didn't show up for her usual shift. It was troubling enough to the extent that the manager expressed not being able to recall the last time Sade missed a shift. The coworkers were especially worried and tried their best to reach her, and when they couldn't reach her, they decided to call the police to do a welfare check. But then, some useful information came into light. On April 1st, 2024, which happened to be the previous night, Sade was supposed to be on a date with a man named Maxwell Anderson.
Oh
She
yeah, we
seemed so
just seen
excited
this
about
one.
the date
Okay, the
that she
first
even
one
told one of her
that we
friends how
seen was
much
different.
she
Yeah,
looked
we just
forward
seen
to it.
this one, so we
But
don't
her
want to see this one
excitement
again.
didn't end there. Prior to the meeting with Maxwell,
Yeah, okay, this one came in as another one. Yeah, I figured we just seen this one. But have you noticed, y'all, the pattern? These women have nice things going for themselves. Nice things. Entrepreneurs, like nice things going for themselves. They meet these guys. You know, some of them is meeting guys online. You know, they're going out on dates with these guys. They don't really know these guys like that. Like, this is just troubling. It really is. It is. It really is. Okay, let me see. I think this might be my last one for today. Let's see about this one here. Um, let me see.
Hey, get the off her, King. Leave her alone. I'm calling the cops. Come here, girl. Come here. Don't you hurt her. Hey, leave her alone.
on April 21st,
That's a neighbor.
2024, a woman was seen running for her life in the parking lot of the Renew apartment complex in Nottingham, Maryland.
Exactly,
Officers
OG.
said
They
she was
prey on women
gunned
like
down
that.
with 4
Exactly.
fatal shots. The woman was 27-year-old Shakia Allen, who had previously filed a restraining order against someone, but on that day, a neighbor heard a woman crying for help. When they walked out onto the balcony, they saw a man chasing after the woman. Shortly after, 4 gunshots rang out in the quiet community, and a woman was found lying dead with no chance for help. This case takes us all the way to Nottingham, Maryland, which is a peaceful suburb just north of Baltimore. Nottingham is the kind of place people move to for safety and a sense of
Yes, Miss
community.
Lewis.
The population of
Absolutely,
this
Miss
place is
Lewis.
just over
Them dating
25,000
sites
people, and
is
many call it
wicked. They
one of the
wicked.
best places to live in Maryland. The Renew apartment complex,
I would
located
never
in
go up there and
Whitehall
meet
Place,
nobody up
is
there.
part of this quiet neighborhood. The crime rate here is low. That's why the tragedy that happened here shocked everyone, as it was the last thing anyone expected. For you to understand the people in this shocking story, let me take you through their backgrounds and how they met each other. Shakia Allen was a 27-year-old woman living in Baltimore, Maryland. She had a vibrant personality. Friends and family described her as a loving, caring, and driven person, someone who always chased her dreams with passion. Shakia had a natural charm, a beautiful smile, and a warm heart that made everyone around her feel special. She was a beloved daughter, sister, and friend, and a devoted mother to a beautiful daughter. Apart from her family life, which seemed too close knit, Shakia had a deep love for fashion and makeup. pouring her creativity into these passions. She had a knack for making things beautiful, whether it was herself, her surroundings, or the lives of the people she cared about. On TikTok, she often shared her thoughts and analyzed movies, giving glimpses of her thoughtful and fun personality to her followers. But Shakia wasn't just about glamour, she had an adventurous spirit too. From Rocky Mountain trails to sun kissed beaches of the Caribbean, she sought out experiences that pushed her limits. She loved exploring new places and creating unforgettable memories. One of her greatest joys was sharing these adventures with Amir Johnson, her former boyfriend. Together, they laughed, traveled, and shared moments that seemed picture perfect. They first met while working at the Amazon warehouse in Baltimore. At first, their relationship seemed promising. Amir became a part of her life, even attending her family events and spending time with her family, as well as her daughter.
Shoulders, knees, shoulders, go. Head, knees, shoulders, head, and shoulders, knees, head, go.
I love Rise mushroom coffee. And not just because I look good
Then they
drinking
start
it.
taking these men around their family, their children. It's just no, that's not the way to go.
On the surface, they appeared to be the perfect couple, inseparable, supportive, and happy. But as we've seen in too many stories, appearances can be deceiving, and something was about to happen.
Yes, they do,
Over
Lisa.
time, the cracks in their relationship began to show. What once appeared to be a loving bond turned into something dark and suffocating. Amir's behavior changed. He became controlling, demanding, and eventually abusive. Shakia, once so full of life and energy, began to feel drained. The sparkle in her eyes dimmed as she faced emotional and physical turmoil that no one should ever endure. The police were called to their home multiple times. Each visit told a story of a relationship that had spiraled completely out of control. Shakia knew she deserved better, and despite the fear, she found the strength to make the hardest decision of her life. She chose herself. She chose her daughter. She decided to leave. But Amir wasn't ready to let her go. In February 2024, as she was moving out of their shared apartment, things took a dangerous turn. Amir lashed out, and the police had to intervene yet again. The next day, he was arrested. During the arrest, he surrendered a handgun hidden in his waistband. It showed just how far things had escalated and how much danger Shakia had been in. And perhaps, if strict measures had been taken that day, this terrifying tragedy may not have happened. Determined to protect herself and her daughter, Shakia moved to a new place in a quiet neighborhood. She sought a restraining order against Amir, hoping it would be enough to keep him away. For a while, it seemed like a new beginning. She was rebuilding her life step by step with the same courage and resilience that had always defined her. Amir refused to accept her decision to leave. Despite the restraining order, he continued to find ways to insert himself into her life. A week before
Yeah,
the
some men
tragedy,
don't even go by the
Shakia was taken
restraining
to
order.
court
They
for
just
one of the
don't
physical
care.
assault charges against him. Little did she know that she wouldn't live to see the
Thank you, Lisa.
outcome.
Appreciate the
It
super
was a
sticker.
quiet
Thank you.
Sunday afternoon, April 21st, 2024, in Nottingham, Maryland. The Renew apartment complex was calm and peaceful, the kind of day where everything seemed ordinary. But for Shakia Allen, this day would mark the end of her vibrant life, a life filled with promise, love, and dreams. Shakia had no idea what was about to unfold. On that afternoon, Amir showed up at her apartment, ignoring the legal boundaries meant to keep him away. What happened next was something no one could have imagined. Neighbors later recalled hearing a commotion in the parking lot. Some stepped out onto their balconies, phones in hand, curious but unprepared for the horror about to unfold. In a grainy video that would later go viral, Shakia can be seen running, her voice trembling with fear.
Lisa, get away from me. You ain't gonna do nothing but get yourself in trouble. I have a restraining order on you. Police, touch my hand,
I have a restraining order on you, she cried out, her desperation visible. It was a plea for mercy, for reason. But Amir was beyond reason. He chased Shakia around the parking lot, his intentions chillingly clear. One neighbor, watching from above, began recording the scene. At first, he shouted for Amir to back off, hoping his voice would stop him.
Don't you hurt her. Leave her alone.
But as the chase continued, his tone turned panicked. He started yelling for him to let her go, pleading for someone to call the police.
Hey, get the off her, okay? Leave her alone. I'm calling the cops.
Then, right at that moment, everything changed. 4 gunshots echoed through the air. 2 quick, sharp cracks followed by a pause, and then 2 more. Shakia fell to the ground. The neighbor recording the incident was visibly shaken, his voice trembling as he called 911. He described the scene in detail. A man chasing a woman, shots fired, and the victim lying motionless in the parking lot. Other residents, who were shocked by what they had just either froze in disbelief or retreated indoors, unsure what to do. At approximately 3 p.m. on Sunday, April 21st, 2024, police responded to a shooting in the unit block of Whitelaw Place in Nottingham. Upon arrival, they found 27-year-old Shakia Allen lying on the pavement, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Paramedics arrived moments later, but it was too late. Despite their efforts, Shakia was pronounced dead at the scene.
When officers arrived, they located a female suffering from apparent gunshot wounds in the parking lot of the establishment. The victim was pronounced deceased here on scene.
The reality of her death hit the neighbors hard. Some had hoped, even as she lay there, that she might survive. But that hope was crushed as the paramedics confirmed the worst. Witnesses later recounted the horrifying moments leading up to the shooting. One resident described hearing the shots, 2 quick bursts, followed by a short pause, and then 2 more. Another recalled seeing Amir walking away from the scene, casually, as if nothing had happened. He didn't run, he didn't show any remorse. He simply walked, gun in hand, leaving behind a scene of chaos and devastation.
I thought it was firecrackers. Clearly, it was not. And so I went to the window to see where the fireworkers were let off. And then I saw a guy walking very casually with a gun in his hand. And that's when I decided I'm going to call 911 now, because clearly it was a shooting and not fireworks.
For those who have lived in the neighborhood for years, this act of violence was unthinkable.
This would be
Hold on,
even
y'all. Let
better
me get the commercial off here.
in Pink Sunset Italic.
These are some sick men, like literally. These men are definitely sick. They're just not worth it.
Many described the area as peaceful, the kind of place where you could sit outside and feel safe. One resident, who had lived there for nearly a decade, said they moved to Nottingham to escape the violence of the city, only to find that no place is truly immune to tragedy. After the tragedy, homicide detectives quickly took over the investigation, confirming that this was no random act of violence. Shakia had been deliberately targeted. This wasn't an impulsive
Hey, Miss
crime.
Shay Shay.
Shakia's death left her family, friends, and community reeling in unbearable grief. Those who loved her were haunted by one heartbreaking question. How could a man who once claimed to love her, who knew she was a devoted mother with a young daughter depending on her, commit such a monstrous act? The police quickly identified Amir Johnson as the suspect. He was no stranger to Shakia's life, and with the evidence piling up, it became clear that this wasn't a random act of violence. He had targeted her, hunted her down, and taken her life in cold blood. It was time for Amir to face the consequences of his horrible actions. But despite their efforts, authorities couldn't find him. The video of her final moments, captured by a neighbor, began circulating online, and it soon became viral. Millions of people watched the grainy footage, hearing her cries, seeing her run, and witnessing the brutal end of her life. While some believed sharing the video could help locate Amir, others questioned its purpose. Was it a tool for justice? Or was it reopening wounds for her grieving family? Amanda Rodriguez, a domestic violence advocate, shared the complicated truth. Videos like these could sometimes help bring awareness or even justice, but they could also traumatize families who are trying to heal. Police believe Amir may have fled to Brooklyn, New York, where he has ties. They've requested the public's help, urging anyone with information to come forward. Yet, as the months drag on, the family's anguish grows. Every day Amir remains free is another day without closure, another reminder of the justice that feels just out of reach.
Oh, I never
As
know
of
they didn't
now,
catch him
the
yet.
Baltimore County Police continue to investigate, working with other jurisdictions to track Amir down. The fact that this wasn't a random act of violence, Shaquille was deliberately targeted, makes her death even more tragic. She did everything she could to protect herself, but the system failed her in the most devastating way. The community has rallied behind Shakia's family, offering support and demanding justice. Metro Crime Stoppers has stepped in, offering a reward of up to $2,000 for information leading to Amir's arrest. The hope is that someone, somewhere, knows something that will bring this case to a close. For Shakia's family, the pain will never truly go away, but they hold on to the hope that one day justice will be served. And they want her story to be a reminder, a call to action for change, for stronger protections, and for a world where no one has to endure what Shakia did. Until then, the search for Amir Johnson continues, and the fight for hashtag Justice for Shakia lives on. As we've seen, Shakia's life was tragically cut short, leaving behind a family searching for justice and a daughter who now
I
faces
never knew he
life
didn't get caught
without a
yet. I didn't
mother.
know that.
Let me take you to the story of Ramaya Griffin, who was a young mother with dreams,
Wow.
love, and a bright future ahead of her. But just
Because
like
I remember
Shakia,
this story
her
last
life
year.
was stolen in a heartbreaking act of betrayal that no one could have foreseen. On February 9th, 2024, a mother was found brutally murdered in her apartment on Young Ridge Drive in Baldwin, Pennsylvania. Ramaya Griffin had been shot 12 times. The woman was 20-year-old Ramaya
Hey, Miss
Griffin, a
Davis.
mother of a 1-year-old,
That's true,
shot 12
OG.
times and killed in a very heartbreaking manner. What makes this tragedy even more shocking is that, for days, no one knew who could have committed such a heinous act until a critical lead uncovered the identity of the killer. Ramaya's family and the community were shocked by the news of the person who brutally murdered this innocent woman. This case takes us all the way to Baldwin, Pennsylvania. Baldwin is a quiet town in Pennsylvania known for its close knit community and peaceful neighborhoods. It's the kind of place where people feel safe, where families build their lives, and where tragedy feels far away. But on February 9th, 2024, everything changed, not just for Ramaya, but for the neighbors as well. 20-year-old Ramaya, often referred to as a beacon of light by those who knew her, was known for her wide, joyful smile. Her creativity shone through her talents as a hairstylist and her passion for fashion, which she often shared with her followers on TikTok and YouTube. She was more than just a talented young woman. She was a loving mother
I
to a
told
1-year-old
y'all
daughter
notice
who
all
raised
these
people
women
with
got
pride and
something going
devotion.
on for themselves.
Ramaya's life seemed
Good
filled with
careers.
promise, but
And they
everything
end up with these
changed when
no good
tragedy struck
men.
in the most unimaginable way. On February 9th, 2024, police were called to her apartment on Young Ridge Drive in Baldwin after the neighbors called 911. They found Ramaya lifeless, her body bearing 12 gunshot wounds. In the same apartment, her 1-year-old daughter was discovered unharmed but had spent over 13 hours alone with her mother's body. The thought of a baby
Wow,
crying
that's
through the
sad.
night, unaware of the tragedy that had unfolded, broke the hearts of everyone who heard about it. How could something so tragic happen? The answer lay in her past. Ramaya had been in a 4-year relationship with 22-year-old Adeline Itangwa, a man she once loved deeply. Their relationship in the beginning was filled with happiness and laughter. They shared a bond that seemed unbreakable, often expressing their love publicly through heartfelt TikToks and YouTube videos. Their chemistry was evident to anyone who watched them, smiling and dancing together as if nothing could ever come between them. Together, they even started a YouTube channel documenting moments of their lives, sharing laughs, and showing their playful connection.
Hey YouTube, it's your girl Remy. Today we're gonna be doing.
Oh, I remember them. From YouTube.
Friends and family saw them as a couple who had it all: love, companionship, and a future full of promise. When they found out they were expecting their first child, it seemed like one of the best things that could have ever happened to them. But everything
Yes, I
changed after
remember
their
them
daughter was
too.
born. What had once been a joyful partnership began to unravel in the worst way possible. The stress of raising a child, coupled with personal differences, created cracks in their relationship. Arguments became frequent, and the love they once had turned into tension and frustration. Eventually, they decided to separate, choosing to co parent their daughter instead of continuing a relationship that no longer worked. On the surface, they seemed to handle the breakup well, maintaining a civil front for the sake of their child. But in reality, there were unresolved emotions: anger, resentment, and control. Their once happy story took a dark turn, one no one could have anticipated. When officers began questioning the neighbors, they soon got to know about Ramaya's ex partner, who had spent the day with both her and their child the night this
Yes, he
tragedy
was,
happened.
Lisa.
And so, the police started digging in. Adeline, originally from Nairobi, Kenya, worked as a long distance truck driver. His job often took him away for long
You
hours,
remember them
but it
too,
also
Special
became
K?
a tool he
Yes.
would use
I
to
remember
craft
them
an
on
alibi.
YouTube.
On the night of February 8th, Adeline claimed he had been with Ramaya and their daughter before leaving for a scheduled trip to North Carolina. He stated that he spent time loading his truck and even stopped to nap when his vehicle had issues. But his story started to fall apart as investigators took a closer look. Investigators used GPS data from his truck and surveillance footage to piece together what had really happened. Ramaya's neighbors had reported hearing gunshots around 3 a.m., yet her body wasn't discovered until 4:30 p.m. that afternoon. During that time, Adeline's truck had been parked in McKee's Rocks for over 2 hours, a detail he failed to mention. His explanations didn't match up with the evidence, and soon the truth began to surface. License plate reader technology revealed that Ramaya's mother's car, which was accessible to both her and Adeline, had been used during the critical hours of the crime. The car was found with mismatched plates and traces of gunshot residue inside. It became clear that Adeline had carefully planned the murder, using the car to carry out his plan while trying to cover his tracks. While everything else was clear, there was still one question troubling the investigators: what drove Adeline to such a horrifying act? Adeline was eventually taken into custody by Allegheny County detectives. By the end of February, the evidence against him was overwhelming, and he now faces charges of criminal homicide and endangering the welfare of a child. He awaits trial, but no amount of justice can undo the pain he caused. Betrayed by someone she once trusted, Ramaya's life was stolen in the most brutal way imaginable. Adeline had used his job as an excuse, crafted a timeline to mislead investigators, and even used his own mother's car to commit the crime. This was no crime of passion, it was calculated, deliberate, and cold. The news of Ramaya's murder shocked everyone who knew her. Learning that it was the father of her child, the man who had attended her funeral and sat in silence, added another layer of heartbreak. He
Oh my
lay there,
God.
surrounded by grieving family and friends, and yet he showed no remorse, no emotion. It wasn't just the
He
loss
was
of a
at the
life,
funeral.
it
I'm
was
not
the
surprised.
destruction of trust,
A lot of
of
people do
love,
that.
and of a
They're
future that
unalive you
held
and come
so
right to
much
the funeral and
promise.
talk to people, act
Ramaya
like they don't
was
know
only
nothing.
20 years old, with her entire life ahead of her. She should have been able to raise her daughter, to see her grow, and to live the life she was building for herself. Family and friends gathered at the Stowe Rocks High School football field, where Ramaya had once walked as a student, to honor her memory. They vowed to ensure her daughter would be cared for and loved, even in her absence. But the pain of knowing Adeline hasn't admitted to the murder, leaving the motive a mystery, weighs heavily on them. Ramaya deserved so much more, and this tragedy serves as a heartbreaking reminder of how betrayal can change lives forever. What do you think could be the reason Adeline committed such a horrifying act? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Here are 4 more crime stories that are more shocking than what you just watched. And by the way, if you like the way we bring to you stories or you learned something new today,
Yes,
please
Special
like this
K.
video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet.
iExcel is helping 15 million.
Wow. I definitely remember them from YouTube. I remember them. I definitely do remember them. Um Gotta be some changes. It's just gotta be, it really has to be a lot of changing. I mean, these dating sites, no, no. These men is not who they say they are. You know, they normally probably put up fake pictures that's not them, of other people. You know, they're telling you lies. They got this, they got that. They work here, they work there. You know, they own this, they own that. You know, and that turns women on. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what some women is looking for. So some of these men, they know what will turn a woman on. They know what'll make a woman want them. Okay, they know what'll make a woman make them fall in love so quick. They knows that, so that's why they tell them these things. Okay, and then you get to meet up with them. You go out dark nights to meet up with these men in clubs and meet in dark parking lots and all this stuff. All this stuff is a no-no. You meet a man for the first time in daylight. Daylight. You don't meet nobody at night. I would never go out and meet a man at night. I don't want to get in your car. You don't get in mine. Y'all need to drive separate cars. Y'all need to meet up in the daytime. I don't care if it's at a restaurant, at a supermarket. I don't care. If you have to even have your family to go with you in a separate car, you know? Oh, we can go out for brunch. You know, we meet at this restaurant. Give people your locations. Don't stop telling these men what you got going on in your life. Okay? Don't talk about your children. He don't need to know any of that. Let him do the talking. When he do all the talking, you can fill out things better. You can get to learn him better. But once you start coming and talking to a guy, you start telling him all the good stuff you got. Yeah, I own this, I own that. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I got 2 kids, this and that. This is all what these men want to hear. You are giving them exactly what they want to hear. You are moving them in your life so fast that you don't even know what you're really up for. You really don't. You actually don't. You know, it's sad. Do some research. You know, ask him, do he do social media like Facebook, Instagram? You know, ask him what is Instagram, what is Facebook. And the only reason I say that, guys, because some guys you meet, you may not be able to always look them up and research them, because some guys don't even give you their real names. So they not even going to come up if you research them. So sometimes it's best to ask them, you know, you got social media, you know, just become their friend on social media, but just stay in the cut. You don't have to comment, say anything. See how his social media go. You may learn a lot in the comments. Sometimes these young girls got to get on board. They got to get on board. They definitely. I mean, no one deserves to lose their life. Okay? No one. But sometimes, you know, you can cause your own demise, you know, by not thinking properly, having common sense, not seeing red flags. Things like this can happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's sad. Miss D, did you hear of the young guy that was a RN in Mississippi, was unalived by his boyfriend, was a police officer? No, girl. It was on TikTok. Okay, I gotta find it. I know I'm gonna find it somewhere. I gotta go through some stuff. I'll find it. Ooh, Lord. Maybe one of my friends got it. A lot of my friends I follow on YouTube. Maybe I can find that. Because I would love to see that story. What in the world did you say, Special K? What in the world? When you go out on dates with those people, let someone know where you're going. Absolutely. And what time, the time frame. You don't forget to get his first and last name. Yeah. Know something about him even before you go on a date with him. Know something, you know, but it's social media because, you know, most guys does have social media. Now, some guys may not have social media. Some may have social media. I mean, you don't know. But if you, I'm telling you, what I'm saying is you will see a lot of red flags, these women, if they stop moving so fast. They move so fast until the red flags get them to a point until they be unalived. Or it get them to a point until they are in a bad, deeply situation that they may not find themselves getting out of because they didn't give their self time to do the research on this man. Not only looking this man up, dig deep into his life. Sometimes social media can tell you a lot now. It can tell you a lot. Yeah, it can tell you a lot. Oh, okay. Let me screenshot that. Thank you so much, Special K. I'm going to look into that. All right. Matter of fact, I'm going to send this to my boy because he probably find it before me. Thank you so much, Special K. I appreciate that. Hey, Latte. He was 25 years old. It's a really interesting case. Okay. I'm going to get my friend. I'm going to inbox him as soon as I get off and tell him to go look that up. Okay. Because you said it was on TikTok, right? Is that his name on TikTok? Do you know the person that did the story on TikTok? Or that's his name on TikTok and I can get the story from there? Me and my boyfriend to this day take pictures of their license plates and text. And we text each other. Yup. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying all women does this, but what I am saying, a lot of these women is doing this, and this is not good. You know, this is just not good. You're going out on dates with these guys. You know, you think you found the love of your life. Then when your family member trying to tell you that they see something that you don't see, you get upset. You tell the family member, "Oh, I'm okay." No. Listen sometime. It costs you nothing to listen. Listen can save your life. It can save you headaches. It can save you pain. It can save you a lot just to listen. Okay? Listen don't cost you anything. And maybe what someone else see in this person, you just don't see. But listen to the person and then start to watching this person for yourself. After the person tell you what they tell you, just pay attention. It can be clearly right there for you. Baby, you got to do a Fed background nowadays. Oh, baby, yes. Yes. I ain't lying. Because if you do federal feds, everything coming up, baby. See, if you do local, sometimes some local stuff might not come up. You're right. But federal, everything coming up. You can Google him. That's his name. Google him and everything will come up. Got you. Got you. Thank you so much. I mean, you just, I mean, everybody wants to be happy, and that's fine. That is so fine. Everybody deserves to be happy. But you got to take cautious with being happy. Okay? You just can't say any man in your life, "Oh, I love him. You know, he promised me this, he promised me that. I think he's going to be the love of my life. He loved my children." These men show you all type of shit when they first come in your life. Of course, they're gonna show you they love you and they love your children. Of course, they may clean and cook for you. Of course, they may go out food shopping for you and do all of this shit because that's the beginning stage. That's the beginning stage. That's the beginning stage. That's the first stage. What about the second and third stage? Yeah. It's sad, 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 sad. Pay attention to details. Don't allow the sex to overpower your judgment. Ooh, baby. Mm-hmm. Because that's what I think a lot of women do. They started sleeping with these guys and they fall in love with them and they let the sex overpower them. I think that's exactly what's going on, Special K. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it doesn't take long for them to gain control over you. It doesn't take long for them to start gaslighting you, manipulating you, controlling you. That doesn't take long for any of that. That comes fast. You know, it comes fast. If you give yourself time to see who this person is, you'll get to start seeing things. You know, ask him about his mom, ask him about his siblings. You know, see if he allow you around his siblings. Just you don't have to go in there and do all the talking. Just sit there, watch and observe. See how he treat his family, how he treat others, how he interact with the mother. See how is he aggressive? Verbally, mentally, emotionally. Just see. Just sit there and see. Sit back and see and watch. One thing about a person that's evil and mean, trust me, their act is gonna come out soon as before you can think about it. It ain't gonna take long. Okay? It ain't gonna take long. You just gotta wait and see. But you don't give yourself time to see because you so in love with this man already. So you don't see that he's abusive. Just sit back and watch. All his abuse gonna come out. It's gonna come clear. Now, if you choose to stay there, then you choose to stay. I don't know, but no. Usually they have already peeped you out. Yep. And he knows your weakness. Yep. Just by your conversation. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And you know what? He done preyed on you. Oh, I love her. She's weak. She's vulnerable. I can tell her anything. She'll believe it. I'm going to tell her I love her next. She's going to believe me. And she's going to tell me back, I love you too. Yeah. So true, Special K. So true. You know, this is not a funny situation, but this is some serious shit. Like, really. It really is. And yeah, be yourself, be your own self, be you. If a man love you, if he want to be with you and you be yourself, he's gonna be with you regardless. Now, if you're a little rough around the edges, he may, if he that right man, he may step in and tell you what he don't like and how you talk and how you carry yourself as a woman. Now, when a man start talking like that, then okay, but still watching. I mean, this is a sad situation. Men know when a woman is weak. They know. They know when a woman is weak. They know when a woman is vulnerable. Okay? They know when your elevator don't go to 20. They know that. And it ain't by your actions, it's by your conversation. It's by your conversation. Now, D, that's so true. I wouldn't. Wait a minute, let me take this down. I wouldn't want a man to do. Wait a minute, Missy, that is so true. I wouldn't want a man that doesn't want me for me. Facts. Facts. Yes, they do. Men will use it against you. Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you rough around the edge, if that man really love you, he gonna be like, baby, I love you. I want this to work, but he gonna sit down and have that conversation with you. Sometimes men might say, I don't like your mouth. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how you talk to me or talk to others or respond to others or I don't like how you talk to your mom. I don't like how you talk to your siblings. try to calm that down. When we go out in public, try not to, be disrespectful to people. A real man gonna tell you how he feel. You know what I'm saying? He gonna tell you how he really feel about it. And if he love you, he gonna stick there with you, and he gonna help you work on it. Yeah, he'll help you work on it. This is crazy. And don't tell them about what the past man did wrong. I always say that, Special K, because there's another thing. You're setting yourself up for failure because, baby, he's taking all that in. All that in. You never meet a guy and tell him what your past marriage was about, your past relationship was about, even if you wasn't married. You don't bring that up. If he asks you, you tell him that's your past for a reason. You don't sit there and hold a conversation with a man because, baby, he's going to size you up from there on. Okay? And then what's going to happen? He's going to start treating you the same way that ex did. I'm telling you. I will never tell a man my past. It's none of his business. Because I need to know first if you in a relationship. Because some men will tell you they're not in a relationship and they're in a full-blown relationship. So that's another thing you got to pay attention to. Okay? Because you can be fell in love with this man, then the truth come out. You know what I'm saying? That he got a whole wife, a whole girlfriend. Maybe he may just had a baby 2 or 3 months ago. You don't know anything because you didn't give yourself what? Time to know this man. Look at the y'all phone conversations, meaning the time of the day he call you. Can you talk to him at night? You know what I'm saying? Can you text him at night? Can y'all go out for dates at night? Different things like that. If certain things don't add up, it's a red flag. Okay? If a man keep telling you, oh, I'm going to call you back, I'm on my way in the house. Oh, I'm going to call you back, I'm cooking dinner. Oh, let me call you back, I'm in the shower. Oh, let me call you back, I'm in the supermarket. If a man keeps saying things like that, that man has a woman. Okay? He has a woman. He in the supermarket with the woman. He's in the kitchen cooking with the woman. He went to another room to answer your phone calls. Like, get it right. Get it right. Like, for real. Because they will use your past on you. Absolutely. Absolutely. When you're first getting to know each other, just tell them. Yeah, exactly. OG. Like, I don't want to hear about your past. Because you know what, y'all? One thing about a man, if you keep talking to him, and if he's not being faithful, you're going to catch him in lies. But you got to be smooth with it. You got to be smooth with it. If he's not a faithful man, you're going to catch him in lies down the road. But you can't be so vulnerable and start to sleeping with the man before you can catch the damn lies. I'm just being honest. God damn. If it's too much to figure out, that weeds out. Exactly. Men, because they don't want to work to earn you. Real men's going to respect you enough to go to the distance to get to know you. Facts. So true. That is so true. So true. He gonna do anything that he have to do. He gonna take his time, and he gonna respect you. Lisa, you crazy. But yeah, like, and this is what I did one time, y'all. This was years ago, right? This guy, this is what I did to him one night, right? I called his phone, like, I wait till it get a little late. So I used to wait till like 10:30 and call his phone. So he would never answer. Never, right? So In the morning, he'll call me, hey, what's going on? How you doing? And I'm playing along with it. Oh, everything is good. I called you last night. Yeah, I was tired. I went to bed a little early after work. So I was playing along with him, y'all, because I was already on this shit. Okay? I was already on it. I knew he had a woman. Okay? I was on it. I wasn't stupid. Right? So one day he called me. Well, let me call you back because I'm getting these groceries out the car and I'm going to, put the key in the door and going on in the house. And I'm going to call you when I get out the shower. I said, okay, no problem. I call that motherfucker the next day. You know what I told him? Don't ever call me no more. Why? Why? I said, because I'm not stupid. I know you have a woman. I don't know who she is to you or what your relationship is about, but I know you have a woman. Okay? Oh, you so wrong. You judging me. You're not giving me a chance. I said, some small things already told me, So, don't worry about, giving you a chance or any of that because it's not worth it. Okay. I notice every night your phone is off by a certain time. I notice every time you get towards your house, you got to call me back. I notice little certain things. So I said, you have a happy life. And, and I wish you the best. And that was the end of that. That was the end of that. The end. I put that to rest real fast. And he's always text me and tell me I was wrong and I didn't, I was judging him and I didn't give myself time enough to get to know him. I'm just going off because of at night the phone was turned off. Oh yeah, that was a big thing to go off. That was a big thing to go off. Okay, so I left it alone, and after a while I blocked him and I don't know where he went and I don't care. Okay, period. But what I did do before I blocked him, I left him unblocked, right? Because I want to see was he's going to keep, trying to talk to me or whatever. And he didn't do that. You know why he didn't do that? Because he knew I had already peeped his fucking game. So he didn't do that. So I was right. I was right. You see? I was right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit. That's what you got to do. I mean, when a man never can talk to you and he's trying to get y'all trying to get to know each other and he never can talk to you, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. He always want to call you a certain time of the day, certain time of the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? That's red flags, y'all, to really look at. It really is. So I'm just saying, and I'm not saying all men is bad men, but I don't know. Right now, I think I just stay by myself for right now. I'm not saying I will always want to be single, but what I'm saying, I am happy within myself. I do love myself. I do have boundaries, and I'm going to stand on my boundaries. Um, it doesn't bother me to be alone. I have confidence in myself, and I don't mind. Some women don't have what I have. They can't stand to be alone. They have to be with a man. They have to feel validated by a man, you know. So I don't need all of that. But if God pick me, choose me, and a good man come in my life, it is what it is. Now I would never tell anyone to stay single their whole life. I would just say, be careful in the dating world, and I wish you the best. And I hope you find the good man of your life going to love you for you. You know what I'm saying? So, because everybody deserves happiness. Everybody deserves happiness, you know. But you just gotta be cautious about it nowadays. I mean, you got men out here not using their real names. You got men out here on the down low. I mean, Lord have mercy. They coming all which way but loose, honey. So, yeah, I don't want nobody to be single their whole life. I mean, you got some women that say a lot. They want to be single the rest of their life because they don't experience so much bad things with men. And that's okay because that's their preference. And they have a right to feel the way they feel, you know? Hey, some women may just have men just go out on dates to eat and that's it and move on. They don't want to be in a committed relationship. And then they turn off before they get to you. Oh, yeah, Special K. They'll turn it off because they don't want that woman to call their phone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then when you with them and the phone keep ringing, why is he keep calling me, trying to play it off like it's a son or uncle or your grandmother or the mother or auntie or something like that? They'll play it off. Hello, well, let me call you back because I'm with my friend right now. I'm out taking care of business or whatever. You know, yeah, they do all, yeah, watch that phone call, honey, when they pick up and start saying the same thing. See what you need to do when that phone keep ringing like that, go ahead and talk. Go ahead and say something. It's time for you to say something. To let that other person on that end of that phone let them know that you I'm here. What's going on? Yeah. Sometimes you got to put them out there. You right, Miss D. But I'd rather be single and know what I really want in a man to be able to exactly to realize a good or a bad man because I know my own to realize levels. Yep. It's sad, y'all. It is sad. I hate to see women losing their lives like that. Is this really sad and special? Oh my God, the kids. Like, why the kids? Why do you have to do that to innocent children that don't know nothing? Like, literally nothing. Sad. It is so sad. But yeah, it's best to be single until, it is. I'm good, y'all. I'm good. Yeah. I'll be okay. I'll definitely be okay. Because this is crazy. It really is. It's sad. But these women got to start being more aware of things and stop, and another thing I want to say before I get off. When these women meet men, stop allowing, because my daughters do not like this. This get under their skin so bad. Like, literally get under their skin so bad. They don't like when, see, they call these men bitches. Okay, that's what my daughters call them. When they see men do women like that, my daughters call them bitches because my daughters can't stand it. Okay, and I ain't mad at them. They don't like when men meet a woman and start talking down about the baby mother or the ex-wife or the ex-girlfriend. And my daughter can't stand when a woman sat there and helped this man do this, not knowing the truth of the matter. You don't know if there's truth to this or not. You just engaging. Oh yeah, I don't like her. She don't take care of my kids right. She's a bad baby mother. She's a this, she's a that. My daughters can't stand it. My daughters would never and never did allow a man to come in their life and talk bad down on a woman that they ever dealt with. My daughters will run. My daughters can't stand it with a passion. They can't stand it. My daughters don't like it. And you got some women feeds right into it. Right into it. And don't know you the next victim. Because he loved that. You the next victim. He got you arguing with the baby mamas, arguing with the ex-wife, and you don't even know the real story. But you just with this man on a train wagon. Miss D, you see my comment? Let me see. Can I be single while can I be single while married? I'm just asking for myself. My husband is driving me nuts. Latte, no. You say your husband is driving you nuts, girl. You crazy. um, with a new saying, "We not content." I don't know where he found this at on Facebook, but I wish it go away. You right, Miss D. But I read that one. Hold on. Let me see. And for me, I married for about wait a minute. It's for me to marry for about 25 years. Me knowing took it took me knowing me. I'm not going to lie. Well, Special K, when you can admit to things, it's cool. Some people can't. Late is acting up today. I never talked against neither woman that I can't stand by myself. I'm single now because I got rid of a fool thanks to my family. I listened to my family. Oh, that was great. See, that was great. I'm glad your family seen something in him that wasn't right. And I'm glad you did not push your family to the side and say, no, he my man. I love him. Don't tell me nothing. Let me figure this out. Good for you, Shay Shay. Good for you, Shay Shay. I'm glad you listen. And that's what a lot of people need to do. But yeah, never meet a guy, y'all, and let a guy just dog out. I mean, if he sat there and dog out his baby mother, I just want to say, what make you think you're not next if you choose to be with this man? And 9 times out of 10, when a man do that, that woman choose to be in a relationship with him 90% of the time, and then she choose to have a baby by him, and then you're the next victim. Never sit and help a man dog out his baby mother. Never do that. Encourage him to don't talk like that. Encourage him to see his kids if he don't. Encourage him if he said, well, she won't let me see my kids. Encourage him to go to the courthouse. And I'm saying these things because by you encourage him to do these things, you're going to see the real true of him. You're going to really see his truth because if he lying. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because he's going to say, baby, thank you so much. I am going down to the courthouse. Can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? A real man. But when you start throwing positive things back at him with the negative things he's throwing at you with that woman, and he don't catch them positive things that you saying in the palm of his hand, bullshit. He's somebody to get rid of. He ready to come into your life and tear your life upside down. That's it. Yeah, but don't never don't never sit and help a man talk about another woman. Because for one, you don't even know the woman. You don't even know her. You only going off one side of the story, and that's his side. And you know he gonna make his side look good because he's a man. And he trying to get with you. So of course he's gonna make his side good. And make her look bad. And make her like an unfit mother. Talk about things she don't do for the kids. And, oh, I take care of the kids. I get this, I get that. She a lazy MF. She don't want to do nothing. And this man can be telling a whole fib. And you got some women will sit there and really believe everything that man say. Yep. So that's another, thing that, some women need to watch out for, I mean, it's all kind of signs that you can watch out for. All kind of signs. But my daughters cannot stand. They would never allow a man to talk about his children, their ex-baby mama, or none of that. My kids will never, my daughters, they can't stand it. Lord, they can't stand it. Yeah, so Pastor K, I can relate to that. It's been 23 years of marriage for me. You definitely have to know yourself. Yep. Sometimes you can be dangerous to your own self and don't even know it by the things that you say and do. And you don't even know it. That's because you don't know yourself. You can be sitting there and telling a man so much of your business, you're dangerous. You're dangerous to yourself. Because you don't know yourself. You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know when to talk, when not to talk, what to say, and what not to say. Right now, you're at a dangerous point of your life. By sitting here telling this man all your business. Yeah, I make this much. Oh, where you work? Oh, I work here. Oh, you have a nice car. I know you have a nice job. You got that nice ride outside. Men know how to get you to talk, man, and tell all your damn business. Mm-hmm. They know how to get you to talk. So it's crazy, y'all. You have to be, because everybody isn't perfect, but you have to know yourself. It's yes, absolutely, Special K. Absolutely. You have to know yourself. Know yourself. Men will lie all the time. Mm-hmm. Yes, they will. And once they know you believe their lies, they like that. They love that. Mm-hmm. They love it. Oh, she believed me. She believed me. Then they go back and tell their friends, man, I met this girl today, man. I told her this, I told her that. She believed me, man. I'ma see, can we work this out? You know what I'm saying? I'm going back to see her. Yeah, that's how they talk. Gangster. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what they do. So they try to keep your personal life to yourself. I wouldn't even, for these young girls nowadays, I wouldn't even, tell these guys like how many children you have. It's none of their business. It's none of their business how many children you have. If you got to lie, it's okay. If you got 3 kids, tell them you got 1. It's okay. If you got 1, tell them you ain't got none. It's okay. Y'all ain't in a relationship. You don't know how far this gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Protect your children. Don't even tell them your children's name, their ages. He don't need to know that. It's none of his business. He don't even know if you rent a house, own a house. It's none of his business. Because one thing about those young men, they're going to protect themselves. They're never going to sit and tell you everything about them. They lie about their kids. They lie about if they're married. They lie about if they're living with a woman. They lie about a lot of stuff. So why they sit there and tell them everything about you on these dates, and they're not going to be honest to you? You don't know if they're really being honest or not. You're just going off what they say because you don't know. And it's crazy. Y'all, I can go on and on and on. I really could, but I ain't gonna talk y'all ears off because I can go on and on and on. Yes. It's just be a lot of changes need to be done. Them dating sites, please, Lord, they need to stay off of them dating sites. Stay off of them. Yeah, stay off of them. Lisa crazy. Tell them you're homeless and watch how he takes off. Say it again. But see, he gonna say something, right? Once you tell me you homeless, and you ain't gonna never see him again. But he got to say something to get himself out of there. Well, let me go because oh, I'm sorry to hear this, blah 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 blah. Well, let me go because I gotta do this and do that. Oh yeah. And if he never call you back, then what you need to do is text him back. You just tell him, I was never homeless. I have somewhere to stay. I said that to you because I want to see what your reaction. I want to see what you was really about. Not saying I want you to give me somewhere to go if I was homeless because I don't know you and you don't know me. But that was a test for you. And you felt that test. That's what you text him back and say. And then after that, see what his response going to be. And then after that, you tell him have a happy life. Yeah. That's what you do. Tell him have a happy life. Because Latayu is definitely right. I definitely agree with you. It definitely is right. Mm-hmm. Or if you tell them, well, I don't live by myself, I live with my daughter. Or they might run away too, honey, because they want women with their own places, honey. So they probably run away too if you tell me you live with your daughter. They something else. That's right, Shay Shay. She says she's single and she is happy the way it is. In God's timing, I will be in a relationship again. I'm not rushing. Amen. Amen. And that's what I just said. It says, take your time. Your light will shine again, baby. Trust me. Your light will definitely shine again. Believe me, it will. It's always greatness. Always greatness at the end. Yeah. I don't blame you. Hey, that's his loss. I'm texting him, just going to post my house and tag him like, thanks for making sure my grass clean. No snakes allowed. She said, no snakes allowed. I don't blame you. I don't want no snakes around me. If I feel like you're that type of person, see ya. See ya, see ya, see ya. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yes. These men is terrible. Well, y'all, I'm going to get up off of here so I can shower, eat my dinner. I don't know what I'm going to eat tonight for dinner. I don't know. I really don't feel like cooking nothing. Oh, I know what I'll make. I think I'm going to make me some steakum and cheese. Cut up me some onions and green peppers in it. Yeah. I think I'll do that tonight for me. Something simple, easy. Yep. Miss D. Oh, I'm on that, Lisa. I'm on it. I already watched it last night. I was gonna do some commentary on it. I watched it. I watched it last night. I was there. I was on it. Yeah. Yeah. Because his daughter is a liar. She's a liar. I believe she did not like Renee. I believe she never liked the Renee. I believe the ex-girlfriend was very jealous and bitter of his new relationship and those new children he had. Oh yeah, I'm on that. And I watched the one that my people did from a couple of about a year or so ago when she was living in the other state before she moved to California. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah. But she handled it very well and professional. She really did. You know what I'm saying? She ain't go live. She ain't, go crazy or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna get mad at another woman that's giving you her fucking hard-earned money? Like, girl, some women really got it twisted. But what I want to do, I want to go back and play through the video from a while back to the updated one. So that's what I probably do. Yeah. So yeah, Lisa, I was on that. I was on that. So y'all, thank y'all for timing in. I appreciate y'all so much. Lisa, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank y'all, everybody that came through, that rocked out with me today. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope y'all have a blessed afternoon. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button as you go out. Always remember, stay prayed up, and always remember to keep God first. And you can always buy me a coffee, whether I'm live or not, or send a super sticker, whether I'm live or not. So thank you guys. I'm going to eat because I have a doctor's appointment in the morning. So I have to leave out early. I hope I'll be back in time enough for my live. But I will definitely keep you guys posted and let you guys know. So you guys have a good evening and thank you everyone. And I will see you guys later. Maria, I enjoyed the live. I love you, girl. I love you too. We ended you, Miss D. Thank you, beautiful. You're welcome, Special K. Okay, Lisa. Sis comes on tonight. Wait, hold on. Okay. So I see you guys later. Thank you. Thank you, Special K, for coming in the chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And everybody has a great day. Peace and love.